What's up, listener? Thank you for pressing play this week on the Jock and Nerd podcast. We've got an Oscars 2020 recap as we discuss the predictable and surprise winners of the night, the history that was made, and the crazy ceremony itself and the musical performances, and how this year's Oscars has gotten Anthony excited about watching movies.
Jocktastic!
Plus a full spoiler review of the Birds of Prey movie and a whole bunch more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Wednesday, February 12th, 2020.
This is Norm MacDonald, and you're listening to the, hang on, I got it here. It says, the Jock and Nerd Podcast, known for their series of gay erotica found on Amazon, No? That's not that? Oh. Well, I fucked that up, I guess.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We talking, we nerded. We funny, disturbing. We talking, we nerded. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah. We talking, we nerded. We funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. I'm talking, we nerded. We spoiler alert. You know what's up.
Hello, listener. What's up? And welcome to the Jock and Nerd Podcast, where we deliver comic book and superhero TV and movie news reviews and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He is the Jock.
And he is the nerd. Why do you say that so slow?
I don't know. I just want to make sure people understand that
you're really enunciating the word.
Jock. I tend to swallow at the beginning of the show. You want to enunciate. You want to say Jock and Nerd Podcast, and then you can slur the whole rest of the show. Just right out the bat, I'm going to over-enunciate. Get used to it, Anthony. All right?
Sounds like you have CTE.
I may have something. Concussion. Also joining us is Gotham City's newest puppet criminal crime lord. Goes by the name of White Felt on the streets, but we call him Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
Yes, this is White Felt.
White Felt.
The criminal masstermind. Masturbator.
The masturbator, mastermind. White Felt.
Look at the set of testes on him.
Oh, boy.
My balls was hot.
He will cut the felt right off you. Rugs,
Yes.
Let me ask you this. In the felty community, say you were to maybe refelt yourself with like a darker colored felt. Say maybe you want it to be purple felt. Would the other purple felties get mad? Is this a thing?
I don't really know. I mean, there's a lot of infighting among us puppets, and we fight about a lot of stuff, so I think that that's on the table.
Listen, puppets, color shouldn't
We
matter.
like to argue. We have nothing else to do.
You're all made out of felt and cotton. Can't you just get along? Who cares if he's purple and he's orange and he's white and he's yellow? Doesn't matter.
Have you seen Snuffleupagus? That motherfucker is neurotic as fuck.
I haven't seen him lately. Word is he's been hitting the crack pipe.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That's what I heard. I hope you get better,
He's an elephant that wants to forget.
Yes,
That's what
he's
it is.
trying. Snuffleupagus, I hope you recover. Get him to rehab. Anyways, let's get to the geek news, you felty bastards.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Well, really, the only big thing that happened this week that actually, there's a lot of fun things to dive into. The 92nd Annual Academy Awards. The Oscars aired this last week, and DC nabbed some Oscars.
Oh, shit.
The Joker movie takes home a pair of trophies. Joaquin Phoenix wins for Best Actor, and the score won. This lady's name who did the score, Hildur. Oh, this is hard. Hildur Guðnadóttir. Can you read that? Good. It's like a Finland name? Swedish? Guðnadóttir. Hildur Guðnadóttir. I think that's right. She won the Oscar for Best Original Score, and she is the first woman to win that award. So, lot of good things. Anthony, did you guys actually watch? Did anybody watch this?
I watched some of it.
Yeah.
I watched the last 3 big awards.
You know, they went hostless again, like they did last year after the whole Kevin Hart debacle. But for some reason, the show is still 3.5 hours long.
Because it takes longer because you have a host, you have a presenter that's presenting a presenter.
Yes, why do they do
and then
this?
they present another presenter. So it's like the Russian dolls of presenters.
Yeah.
I've heard someone say it in some review, but that's exactly what it was.
They also need to realize they're not the Grammys. I don't understand the amount of performances.
You got musical performances, surprise musical performances.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the Janelle Monáe opening number was kind of fun. But then right after that, instead of presenting an award, they bring out Steve Martin and Chris Rock to tell jokes. And then they present the person who's presenting the first award.
Yeah, there's a lot of wasted time
And they kept doing that. They would bring out other presenters to bring out the presenters. Like, what are you doing? There's no host. It shouldn't take this long. Anyways, with this Oscars win for DC, DC has 4 movies that have won Oscars, and the Joker is in all of them.
What?
Yes, it's true. Tim Burton's Batman took home an Oscar for Best Art Direction. Chris Nolan's The Dark Knight won for Best Sound Editing, and of course Heath Ledger won Best Supporting Actor. And then Suicide Squad won Best Makeup and Hairstyling, and now Joker. So, you guys, is Joker the Oscar bait for DC movies here? What's going on?
What do you
Oscar bait? I don't think that maybe that they were thinking about Oscars when they were making it, but I just think that it just worked out. I think you bring on Joaquin Phoenix and you make him the centerpiece of the movie, and the movie has after Heath Ledger anyway, has this kind of dark, heady, mentally ill spin to it, the character, and not like this fanciful kind of like the Cesar Romero Joker or even the Jack Nicholson one.
Yeah.
Where it was like more Looney Tunes. You might broach some Oscar-worthy shit if you do that kind of stuff. If you have an Oscar-winning guy and you have that kind of shoes to fill after Heath Ledger, like something might occur that's going to be interesting enough for the old fucks at the Oscars to take notice.
I would say that it kind of was, but the whole, first off, this is the most prestigious award DC's won, having a Best Actor.
Yeah.
But the reason that it was this way is because they let Joaquin Phoenix do what he wanted. It's all Joaquin Phoenix, and they let him do his best Taxi Driver. They let him perform in a role where the movie combines King of Comedy with Taxi Driver, which are 2 Oscar-nominated films, I believe.
Yeah.
So you had all the ingredients for them to prop something up to be Oscar worthy.
Yeah.
It got nominated, right? For more stuff, Joker.
11. It led everyone.
Yeah. Had the most nominations, which is crazy. So, but the more I think about that movie, he's not like really the Joker, is he? We discussed he's not. And
no, it's a character study.
Yeah. I still think between him and Heath Ledger, I go back and forth, but now I'm like, I think Heath Ledger's Joker is a little bit better Joker, and actually a Joker that could go up against Batman, unlike this fucking Arthur Fleck could never go up against Batman.
Well, I would push back on this Joker being better as well, because although Joaquin Phoenix is amazing, I can't take that away from him, he is doing a Taxi Driver impression.
Yeah.
Whereas Heath, in my opinion, was doing something maybe a little bit more original.
Yeah.
So, maybe not original, but he was taking stuff from the comics that we hadn't seen on screen.
It's somewhat debatable, but I think that
we're picking it. I mean, they're both great performances.
They're both good.
I mean, I think Heath Ledger was coming at it from some other weird thing. I think he was doing something with Tom Waits or something,
Right.
It's channeling him a little bit.
It is haunting, and I think it's well deserved. And he won all the awards leading up to this. He won Best Actor, which is why the results of these Oscars this year were mostly very predictable. But there was a couple of upsets.
A couple
of big
we'll
upsets.
Get into it, but there were some big. I mean, there's in looking at the history, a lot of the stuff that did win for Best Picture and Best Screenplay and all that didn't obviously win in this one.
It wasn't the favorite, So, but Joaquin winning everything, he was he's going to be a shoo-in for this, and he gets it. Avengers Endgame loses its visual effects Oscar to 1917, which same thing happened with Infinity War, and we know why. It's the more seamless, the less it looks like special effects, the more the Academy seems to like it.
I got a hot take from someone else's hot take.
Okay.
So it's not my hot take.
A semi.
I listened to The Ringer. They have a podcast called The Big Picture.
Yeah, yeah.
And this guy, one of the hosts, was that someone had asked, funny, like trying to be funny, in 5 to 10 years, will Josh Brolin win an award for his Thanos performance that no one recognized at this Oscar? Because there's always that running joke that the Oscars realizes things too late, reward things too late.
Yep.
And then the host actually had a serious take. He goes, I'm going to have a serious take on this. In 20 to 25 years, they'll do something at the Oscars that recognizes maybe the achievement of Marvel.
Yes, like comic book movies or something.
Yeah, like not necessarily give them an award, but just go an acknowledgement. Like, this was actually much more difficult than anyone thought it would be.
Yeah.
And no one appreciates it until much later.
Yeah.
And his point was, like, these good B movies that are summer popcorn flicks, they always actually are looked upon fondly. And he pointed back to the Westerns of the 50s and 60s that, like, everyone now goes, like, those were great. Like, those were great for its time.
Yeah.
Like, we really look back on those things as a big accomplishment. And he was saying that Avengers and Marvel in general, everyone will look back on that eventually and go, you know, these were actually, like, good movies, and they were able to tell an interconnected story across 20 films, and that's difficult. And there are other franchises that failed. So we should give this some sort of credit. And the other point he made was the people that are making these Marvel films, like such as a Ryan Coogler, Taika Waititi, James Gunn, whoever else they decide to hire, a lot of these people might end up as people in the Academy that have Oscars to their name. Yeah. They're going to be the ones voting on this stuff eventually. Yeah. So that's not my not so hot take because I stole it from someone else.
That makes a lot of sense though.
Yeah. I just don't. I think now we're in that era where we're not gonna, the Oscars and people in general, like Martin Scorsese, we're not necessarily gonna look at this with appreciative lens right now.
I thought it was ironic though that Martin Scorsese came out against comic book movies, and then the comic book movie, a comic book movie got the most nominations ever. Yeah. And it was a comic book movie that was copying his
movies. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
So it was like Inception of Scorsese.
It's full circle. It was full circle. Listener, let us know what you thought about the show and Joaquin winning. Join our Facebook group, Jock and Nerd Nation. Just search it out and answer the questions, and you will have a lot of fun geeking out with us and all of our listeners. So Avengers Endgame makes history in one sense because it didn't win that visual effects Oscar. It is the first movie that actually became the highest grossing movie of all time that didn't win anything.
Yeah, it's weird.
Meaning every other movie that's been the highest grossing movie of all time has at least won something. Going back to Gone with the Wind and Titanic and Avatar. Endgame now, the king with the numbers, and gets nothing. So what does this mean moving forward? Also, Anthony, your point is interesting because this is already happening. Taika Waititi won Best Adapted Screenplay for Jojo Rabbit. And now he's not so sure he wants to direct a Star Wars movie anymore. And he's being quite blunt about it. Speaking to Variety, they asked him, and this is his quote. He goes, "I think people see me hanging out with people, especially with Star Wars, and think I'm having some big discussions about it. I would fucking love to. If it was right, I would want to do any kind of movie if it made sense and if it felt not like career suicide."
Oh, shit.
So this is how much these Star Wars movies are kind of like, well, I wouldn't do it. I want to do it.
Look at Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
All right. Rian Johnson directed one of the most divisive Star Wars films ever, Last Jedi. And then he comes out with Knives Out.
Yeah.
Which was a very good film. Yeah. And then everybody was now back in his corner.
Getting a sequel.
Yeah.
So
and Knives Out, there was a lot of buzz around that not getting a nomination as if it should have at least been in the picture.
Yeah.
I saw it. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I got to see it.
I actually enjoyed it a lot.
Crazy cast.
So, yeah. I mean, it does harken back to like a Clue type movie.
Yeah.
It's not that complicated, really. But, yeah. It's no Kaiser Soze, which is the...
But it's trying to do Usual Suspects, kind of like mystery.
But not really, yeah.
I got to see it.
Taika doesn't need Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars needs him.
Star Wars needs him. And I'm surprised the Academy gave him this Oscar for a Hitler, imaginary Hitler friend movie.
Did you see Jojo Rabbit?
I've not seen
Any
it.
of you?
No.
Okay,
No.
I did.
Yeah.
And look, it's a very interesting way of doing it. It's kind of like his signature style where he kind of does like a Quentin Tarantino-esque type thing where it's everything through his lens.
Yeah.
Right? So Quentin Tarantino has this certain way of looking at the world, and he brings all of his knowledge of film and everything into it. I don't think that Taika's quite as versed in like all of this crazy B movie stuff that Quentin Tarantino's obsessed with.
Yeah, but he
all
has
of this,
his own influences and stuff.
Yeah, his influences are less tangible.
I see.
But it's all like, all right, you have Germany, but they're in the middle of the war, but they're all talking like modern people.
Yeah.
Saying like, Hitler's saying like, yeah, well, what's up, man?
Yeah,
whatever. So it's funny and it's weird and it's almost like its own thing. And I feel like that and the comic book movies and franchise films don't go together.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought Thor Ragnarok was a little bit too weird.
Mm.
And I think that this is more his wheelhouse. The movie's better. Like Jojo Rabbit is way better than Ragnarok.
Well, I mean, he's one of those guys where you watch the movies and you're in their head. You really learn a lot about him, like a Tarantino and some of these other guys. So I always love that, and you don't want to suppress that.
What We Do in the Shadows is probably one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
See, that's like vampires and comedy.
So, yeah. So and that's Taika's first like big movie that he ever made.
Yeah.
And now it's a TV show. And I forgot which on Showtime, I think.
Yes, and everyone's been raving about the show too, and I still got to catch up on all these things. I got to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you're wasting your time with stupid shit.
I
You should watch
know.
it.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I need to start watching better movies.
Yes.
That was one of the takeaways I got from watching the Oscars. I need to start watching some of these movies.
Well, I love watching movies. And as I said, it's probably why I'm so critical on comic book movies and superhero, because I watch all movies. And especially weird shit, like experimental stuff, foreign language films. I like to watch as much stuff as I can. So when I'm looking at a movie, especially like these genre films and these superhero films, I've seen like, okay, why are they doing like this cookie cutter stuff?
Yeah.
That seems like, and comics aren't really that cookie cutter. Like comic books have things that they never do in the movies. So I just really am like, you have the source material to do all this other cool stuff, but you don't do it because it's like this Hollywood studio bullshit, like where they make everything related in a film, or like it's always someone's brother or the neighbor.
Things got to tie back to
everything's all tied together, and I'm like, wow, that just makes it so formulaic and contrived. And so a lot of these movies that aren't following that pattern are more interesting, and that's why I love to watch as much different kinds of film as possible. The Oscars this year had a lot of great movies.
Yeah, I was going to say the 10 Best Picture nominations are all solid, really good movies.
This year was 9.
Oh, there was 9 only this year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
interesting.
Let's get into this, Ruggs. The only one you haven't seen is Ford versus Ferrari?
Might be a one or two I haven't. I didn't see the Harriet Tubman movie either.
Well, that one I don't think was nominated.
The Best Picture nominees were 1917. You seen it, Ruggs?
Saw it.
Irishman, we all saw that.
Saw it.
Jojo Rabbit, you just said you saw
Saw
it.
it.
Joker, we all saw that.
Saw that.
Little Women.
Did not see that.
Marriage Story.
Saw
it's on
it.
Netflix. Everyone can watch that. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. We reviewed that
Saw
with
it.
Mike Rips. Parasite. And
Saw
Ford
it.
versus Ferrari, which I want to see.
Those two I didn't see. Little
All right.
Women and Ford versus Ferrari.
So you've seen all
You've
most
seen
of
a
these.
lot of these. So this was the kind of the big upset, as the night went on. We did a poll at work, Anthony, picking all the winners. I came in third. I had 18 out of 24. Parasite was the thing that fucked me up because
everyone was the hype coming into this that I'd read and noticed was that the type of film that's going to win the Oscar is 1917.
yes, a war movie.
and I would agree with that. I think that should have won.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
So you're the first person that I trust that said 1917 or
because
Parasite.
I saw Parasite before the hype.
Mhm.
Yeah.
When there was no hype. And I thought it was really good and I thought it was interesting. But I also thought it was wacky. Like, okay, the way that they ended this film is obviously so 1917 is this movie about these two soldiers that have to get from A to B without getting killed. And the camera follows them in one continuous shot the whole time, or it's made to look like that.
Right.
And that's such a feat and so visceral, it puts you like you're one of them with them this whole time. The thing I can compare it to is like if you're playing like Call of Duty or something, and you're going through the campaign yourself, so everything you're seeing, it's what it feels like.
Yeah, it's like first person. Yeah.
So even though like Saving Private Ryan maybe set the blueprint for that, this was like going an extra mile.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
With wartime photography and stuff like that, and it was very artistic in the way it was shot, and it was had a lot of like crazy shit that happened. It was visually that was interesting, experiences that you go through. And Parasite, it was very conventional of a film.
Really?
I mean, it's just like, don't get me wrong, it's brilliant, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a bunch of people talking. That's it.
So, and also 1917, a movie about World War One. Not a lot of people make big budget movies. Not a lot of people know about the first war.
Let me ask you a question real quick. And you had hinted at this earlier, but you've seen 7 out of the 9.
Mm-hmm.
Was this a particularly strong class of Oscar nominees?
Well,
did you feel like
you got Once Upon a Time, which was very, very good.
Yeah.
You had 1917, which is amazing. Parasite was very good as well. So like just those
3 right there.
The Irishman, like we all saw it. It was good.
Very good. I thought it was very good.
We had there's some problems here and there, but for the most part, the performances were good. There was some like old man pretending to be whatever young. They should have edited that kick out. Really, they should have edited that. Done it better. Like I can't believe it was done that bad. So there's some things that stick out for me in that movie where I was like, okay, there's some editing that could have been done that would have made this movie better. What else did I miss?
Marriage Story, I've heard a lot of hype about.
Marriage Story was very good, but I mean, other than the acting performances, it's like okay, I'll tell you what's really good about Marriage Story. The villain in this movie is the lawyers.
And Laura Dern won Best Supporting Actor for the lawyer role.
So it's about a couple that is breaking up, and then as soon as the lawyers get involved, it goes to another level. And they're never presented as the bad guys, but if there's a bad guy in this movie, it's got to be the lawyers.
Mm.
So that was kind of a brilliant take. And I think it was like a remake of Kramer versus Kramer, which is another divorce movie.
Yeah, no, that is smart not to make you pick sides with the couple.
Yeah, and I think Noah Baumbach, it was like a autobiographical thing of his divorce that he went through
with Greta.
No, I think he's with Greta now.
Oh, gotcha. Greta Gerwig.
Person before Greta Gerwig.
Right.
Oh.
Two people that had Oscar nominations.
Yeah, she was not. She was and
Little Women.
Well, she was snubbed for director, is what a lot of people were saying. I'll tell you about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. If you're a Quentin fan, you love this movie. I've heard a lot of people have walked out of this movie because literally it's just Brad Pitt and Leo hanging out for like 2 hours, and then it's this build up to this crazy ending. And it's all, you have to stay to the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are like, I left.
Parasite is more compelling than that
Hollywood.
For some people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it also has a bonkers ending as well.
So
where would you, let me ask you this. Where would you, 1917 is your number one.
Yeah, just because it's visually an experience.
Where does Parasite rank?
I don't know. It kind of goes,
in your Oscar nominees.
For me, I would say because we've seen Tarantino shit before, and we haven't seen. I love this guy. I love Bong Joon-ho, whatever his name is.
Bong Joon-ho.
Bong Joon-ho.
Great speeches, by the way.
Yeah.
Bong Joon-ho's. I love The Host, and
he did
I like
Snowpiercer, and he did Okja on Netflix, which is pretty good.
So those are they're good. Those movies are good. So. Anyway, the point is that this movie was great. It was entertaining and it had a social message to it. And but if I were to describe what the movie is about to you, you wouldn't be like, "Oh, that's it. That's interesting."
Well, look,
like if I were to tell you exactly like a plot, just a brief plot synopsis of what happens in the movie, you'd be like, oh, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what all the hubbub is about.
Yeah.
And just like if I explain Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Same thing with that movie. If you tell someone that movie,
so they're
beat by
very
beat,
similar
you're like, what?
in that.
Yeah.
They're very similar in that respect.
Yeah.
They're both movies. If you were to describe it, it wouldn't seem that. I mean, there is. I think that the story of Parasite's a little bit more compelling than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but they're pretty much tied for me.
I need to rent
All
that.
right.
Let's talk about Bong Joon-ho. This motherfucker breaking records, making history on Oscar night. Parasite winning Best Picture becomes the first international feature to
Foreign
ever
language
do
film,
so, which is crazy. Bong Joon-ho won 4 Oscars that night.
Oh, shit.
Being the first person to win 4 Oscars in a single night since 1953, when that feat was pulled off by one Walt Disney. You may have heard of him. Nobody has won 4 in a night. And I did not know this is the 100th year of Korean cinema. There's a lot of fucking good Korean cinema out there.
Yeah.
That I'm hearing about, stuff like Train to Busan. And
Great. Yeah.
but that's huge.
I will say
It's huge.
that, at least from the perspective of people that I've listened to, this movie winning wasn't like a Crash or a Green Book from last year, where people are going to look back and this go, the wrong movie really fucking won.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it is historical. Also, just keep from what I've read, the Academy is a lot more international now.
Yeah.
So I think 40% is the stat I read that of the Academy is now
There's
international.
like over 8,000 people that vote on these.
It is a huge moment, I think, for
Asian cinema, for Korean
I'm glad
cinema.
it won.
Yeah.
I'm glad it won. I think that people should see that movie. It was very good, and make up your own mind about it. I think that you'll probably enjoy it.
The take I read or heard was the reason. I mean, people being cynical, but the reason this won is because Roma didn't win last year.
Yes, and they always have these international movies being nominated.
But Roma was a bore fest.
Yeah.
There you go. See, I haven't seen any of these.
Roma, I watched a lot of it, and I just couldn't make it through. I was just like, all right. I'm not really. They want you to be embroiled in this family, and this woman who works for the family. But I just was like, okay, it's taking really long, and I'm not really. And not only that, but like, I kind of saw the writing on the wall. I was like, okay, something's terrible is going to happen to this person.
Yeah.
And I think she gets pregnant at some point or whatever. So I'm like, I don't want to see the rest of this. And so like, I got kind of checked out. But Parasite was like, I had no idea where it was going to go.
And
I'm like, okay, what's going to happen?
It looks like it's like a weird horror movie, but it's not, is it?
From what I would describe it as this is what I've heard. Correct me if I'm wrong. I would describe it as a poor family trying to make their way into a rich family, and something really weird happens.
See, it's kind of like a Jordan Peele, like Get Out, class-based struggle, something. That's what it seems like to me. I don't know.
Well, the thing that happens.
Yeah, don't spoil it. I'm going to watch it.
The thing that happens isn't what you think. It's not going to be as like. It's not like Get Out, where you find out there's this huge conspiracy.
Okay.
That. It's just something that you wouldn't expect.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to check it out. I'm going to read the subtitles.
Yeah,
I'm going to check it out as well.
My sister is actually learning Korean for some reason. This girl just like picks up things, and she's like, I'm going to learn Korean now. I'm like, okay.
I think people should watch this movie. It's good, and it is Oscar worthy. It should be in the conversation, definitely. 1917, I just felt like was a more, even though we've beaten this fucking shit to death, the World War I movies and stuff like that. We've seen enough of this shit, but I was fucking blown away.
Nobody
by
makes
it.
World War I movies. They always make World War II movies. We forget about the first one.
You might be bored by it though if you watch it.
1917.
I can imagine Anthony looking at his phone. Like,
no, but just the technical. I've seen some behind the makings of, and just the technical aspect of it doesn't keep following them, and it doesn't cut away. Is fascinating to me. There was also, when the nominations get out, they were getting a lot of backlash of that it was like white and male. So I think it's also a little bit of a reaction to that, giving it to Parasite.
Yeah.
So I told you guys I went into a deep dive.
Yes.
On Oscars.
Yeah.
So I was reading about all the movies that won that shouldn't have won.
Yes.
So I wanted to just throw a couple at you.
For example,
one of the ones on the list was in 1976, Rocky won.
Yeah. Stallone wins an Oscar his first movie.
He won. Movies that it was up against: All the President's Men, Bound for Glory, Network, and Taxi Driver.
Wow.
So beat
and they
those
give it
movies.
to Rocky. You got to think about what the country was at the time.
One of those movies I think I've seen is Network.
Yeah.
What about Taxi Driver? Oh,
Taxi Driver.
Another one that this one I think is universally regarded as one of the worst winners was Crash.
Yeah.
That movie was horrible.
It's not right.
The movie that everyone thinks should have won that year was Brokeback Mountain. But the Academy everyone thinks the Academy had something against
they weren't going to give
gay.
it. Yeah, they were going to give it to the boyfriend movie.
Yeah, that was 2005.
They're always
Where's this next one? Sorry.
Well, the Academy members are changing. We can
2002
see that.
The musical called Chicago won.
Wow, Chicago won Best Picture?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I mean,
what did it
that was up against Gangs of New York, The Hours, The Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, and The Pianist. Everyone thinks either The Pianist or The Two Towers.
Yeah.
So there's that one.
They waited
but The Pianist was Roman Polanski, wasn't it?
No,
Pianist.
was it? It was Harvey Keitel. You saw Harvey Keitel's ass.
Polanski.
Oh, it was Polanski.
Yeah, so he had a lot of fucking...
Yeah, they're not giving it to him.
No, they're not going to give it to him.
And then Lord of the Rings, I think, wins them the third time out.
1998.
Yeah.
This is a bad one. Shakespeare in Love wins.
Ugh, that movie.
The movie that everyone thinks should have won is Saving Private Ryan.
Shakespeare in Love beat out Saving Private Ryan? What the fuck?
Get the fuck out of here.
Here's another one. 94. Forrest Gump wins.
Yes.
Two movies that people think should have won. Pulp Fiction.
Oh.
Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank.
Tough.
That's a fucking masterpiece.
That's a masterpiece.
I got
they love Tom Hanks, though. They'll give Tom Hanks all day long.
Two more.
All right.
1990.
Yeah.
Dances with Wolves wins.
Yeah.
Movies that came out that year: Awakenings, Ghost, The Godfather Part 3, and Goodfellas.
Goodfellas
should have definitely won that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so interesting.
That's a classic.
Because look at even here, Tom Hanks playing Mr. Rogers did not win. He was beaten out. And I loved Bong Joon-ho's speech when he won Best Director because he beat out Martin Scorsese, Todd Phillips, Sam Mendes, Quentin Tarantino. But in his speech, he's like, Martin, I've studied your movies. Quentin, thank you for putting me on lists and promoting my movies. Like, he looked up to him, and this guy wins over them. It was a crazy moment.
I got one more Scorsese snub.
Okay. Did he ever win a fucking Best Picture?
He won one for The Departed.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But in 1980, Ordinary People wins.
I like that movie.
Same year, though,
sad.
Raging Bull comes out.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See,
Scorsese got screwed a lot.
He got screwed a lot. Constantly dominated.
Listen, when you're he's a dark horse.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing studio shit.
Yeah.
He was fucking cutting his own path. And that's why people are like, oh, shut the fuck up, old man. But like, no, he had the balls to fucking do it.
This boomer guy was the first guy to go against the studio
imagine
system.
all those films, and the one that wins an Oscar is The Departed, which is a very good movie, but
Leo,
not on the level of some of those other ones put out.
I'm happy that Brad Pitt won for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That was
he deserved that one.
Yeah, that was kind of predictable. A lot of those were going in.
Who else was he up against for supporting?
For supporting, where is it? He was up against.
Yeah, I got it. Tom Hanks.
Oh yes.
Anthony Hopkins, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci.
Wow, that is a tough.
Man, that's tough.
Shit. Pitt, Pacino, Pesci, Hopkins, and Hanks.
Funny thing about Irishman, Pacino and Pesci get nominated for supporting actor, but no love for Robert De Niro at all for Best Actor.
For being the lead, that's interesting. Netflix only won one. They had like 24 nominations.
This was Netflix was really hoping that this would be the year they break through and get a big Oscar win.
But
it's coming.
Yes,
they had the two popes, and so Anthony Hopkins was from that.
Yeah,
they have two popes.
Marriage
they got
Story.
Marriage
I
Story
saw that
and
movie
Irishman.
as well.
How's that? Two popes. Any good?
It
sounds boring.
It shouldn't.
That's too many popes.
I don't think it's an Oscar film.
Yeah, I think if you had another pope, I may watch it.
But it definitely, I felt compelled to watch it, so I watched the whole thing.
So let me ask you something real quick, Ruggs. What prompts you to watch these films? Like, do you read about it and go, I'm going to see that?
I love movies.
So you just see everything.
If I even get like a whiff that the movie's going to be interesting, I try and check it out.
So do you hear like this won an award at some indie festival or something like that, or like how do you catch the whiff is what I would ask.
Well, I'm always knee deep in fucking movie shit all the time. So, if there's a director that I like, or if there is, like Sam Mendes, I like all of his movies. All right. So,
Right.
or there's, Pedro Album, I can't even say his name, Almodovar or whatever. He does all the fucking movies with, these Spanish movies.
Yeah.
So I love all of his fucking shit. So like all of these directors, and if I even just know that, like the guy Bong Joon-ho, he did The Host.
Yeah.
Right.
And I love that movie. And I love Snowpiercer. So I was like, I was going to watch this movie regardless. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm a director person. And if you can, back in the day, if a director did a movie and you liked his stuff, you can look forward to trying to just watch his next movie and see what he does next.
Yeah.
And hopefully takes you in a different direction, a different story. Now it's not, there's still like directors that do that. So I tend to follow directors. I tend to follow actors. I tend to just, if it just the subject matter intrigues me, the Two Popes I wanted to watch because I was like, oh, this is interesting. I want to know what the fucking, I love looking inside the Vatican and see what's going on in that place. And like, what the fuck are they doing? Are they fucking eating pizza? Like, what are they up to over there? Are they watching soccer games? Are they drinking some wine back there?
What do popes do?
Yeah, what are
They're
they
poping.
fucking up to? It's interesting to me.
Dope
I find it fascinating,
popes.
so I'll watch that.
Well, and like Ford versus Ferrari was like a true story, and like,
I
you're
want
like
to
that's
watch
a crazy
that. I just
story.
haven't gotten, I haven't gotten my hands on it yet.
Everyone
but-
said that's the ultimate dad movie.
Oh, really? It's a
Yeah,
gear,
like a movie
gearhead
you watch
car
with your
movie.
dad. Yeah, Gearhead.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'll totally
all
watch
these
it.
movies also are like 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. They're all
It seemed like from everything I've read and talked to with different people that this was a particularly strong class.
solid
I
year.
mean, I've watched a lot of movies that are not Oscar worthy too, so it's not all of them are going to be humdingers. Like I sat through a lot of bullshit.
Did you guys catch the surprise Eminem performance of a song from 17 years
I heard
ago?
about that
he
and I
won
didn't
an
understand
Oscar?
it.
Yes.
What was that about? He won the Oscar, but he never performed.
So he does Lose Yourself, which won an Oscar like 17 years ago, but he didn't go to that ceremony because at the time he was like, fuck you, Grammys. They didn't get him. And he's like, there's no way they're going to give me a fucking Oscar. So he just didn't go because he didn't think he would win. But after that, you got like the song "It's Hard Out There for a Pimp." One's fucking a lot of hip hop and fucking some good songs have been winning Oscars after that. But he just like, I did not expect him to pop up singing "Lose Yourself." I was like, holy shit! What the fuck?
Did you like the music that got nominated for the Oscars?
What were the songs? I don't know.
That Frozen 2 song was horrid.
There's a
It was.
Elton John
I was like,
song.
it's not even good.
Well, I was surprised for that Joker won Best Original Score. I don't even remember the score.
I don't
from
remember the
Joker.
music much. It was
I just
yeah.
remember Gary Glitter.
Yeah, I remember the Gary Glitter music and dancing on the stairs.
That was weird though. I didn't watch it obviously live, other than the last 3 big awards.
Yeah.
But I heard Eminem perform. Going, well, why is he performing a song from
Yes.
17 years
You
ago?
could see reactions from like Billie
That's really
Eilish and
funny.
Idina Menzel, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on?" They're like, "Who's this old guy? Why is he up? Why is he up here? Why is Eminem?" But dude, he killed it. It was a good performance. He's fucking M.
I did read one tweet that was kind of funny, also, although kind of trying to be a little shit stirrer.
Yeah.
They're like, there's nothing like being progressive at the Oscars and then bringing a guy that liberally used the F word, the gays, back in his day when he's now performing this song from back at
Listen,
that time.
Eminem's career is still
Well,
strong.
then you got Joaquin Phoenix's speech saying you can't fucking hold people accountable
That's true.
for shit that
Yeah.
they did in the
Yeah,
past.
he's
You
like,
gotta
I was a
let it be.
scoundrel. He's like, I was bad.
We gotta walk
Yeah.
together towards redemption. Is basically his.
Yeah,
speech.
that was interesting. I like that he quoted a line from River Phoenix
Too
song.
fucking weird though for most people. I was actually with my parents
Yeah.
and my dad
Yeah.
was watching the speech. First off, my dad, big time Trump guy.
Yeah.
Was watching because he's like, I know these fucking actors are going to start talking about politics and
Yeah.
they don't know what the fuck they're
Oh
talking
my
about.
god!
And Joaquin Phoenix starts talking.
Yeah,
He's
it's
like, oh,
great.
here we go.
Joaquin Phoenix starts talking, and my dad literally goes, "What the fuck is he talking about?" And just gets out of the room. Like his speech, I understood what he was talking
Yeah.
about, but he's so strange
He's a
in his
weirdo.
delivery
That's why I love
that
it. I love it.
most people aren't going to get it.
No, they're not. I love it.
Him and Renee Zellweger both were putting on. Were on
Renee
their soapbox.
went down the tubes.
Yeah.
like you could see that moment where you were like, "Oh, stop, please, no, don't keep going." Like cut out right now.
Her speech, I was like, "What is she talking about?"
You're going on too
What is
long.
going on?
You're trying to squeeze in some other shit in there.
What are your thoughts? I had one of my coworkers, who I respect the opinion of, was, I the Oscars, I don't want to see these people speak.
just take.
He's like, I know that they have a platform, but I don't want to hear their thoughts on these things.
Yeah.
I just don't.
It would shorten the show. That's for sure.
What do you guys think about that stuff?
There was a time where it would be cool to hear from these guys.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we have Twitter and we have the toilet bowl,
you know everything they're going to say.
Yeah, we have the toilet bowl of thoughts that like just swish around everybody's shit.
Yeah.
And we got to see it all the time. Like now, I'm like, okay, now I want to escape from that. Like,
right.
So, maybe not.
The Oscars aren't their only platform anymore.
No, you know what?
They have plenty of places they
Just
could do.
thank the people that worked on the movie. Those people just want to hear their names. That's all anybody wants, is just to hear their name and a thank you and fucking move on with your life.
I'd like to hear about, when I was a little boy, I wanted to be Spider-Man my whole life, and I didn't get to play him, so fuck you, Sam Raimi. Something funny like that.
Yeah.
Well, I did enjoy Bong Joon-ho's speech because he honored Quentin Tarantino, right?
Right.
And he talked about, it was funny how he wanted to cut the award with a chainsaw.
Yeah, to give it to everyone.
Making a reference to Texas Chainsaw and give it to everyone, and then saying he's going to drink tonight.
He just kept saying, "I'm going to drink
some more."
Yes, now I need to drink more. He was great. He was very cute and humble.
I personally would prefer that too. I'm of the opinion that I don't want to hear actors' opinions on politics and stuff. If I did, I can seek it out. There's plenty of platforms, but please not on award shows.
I mean, it just why do we have to make everything so binary?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why do we have to make everything we're in a world that's screaming to not be binary? We have everybody just taking sides.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's just ridiculous. So, I mean, whatever. I like to sit on the fence.
Yes.
Right in the middle.
Right down the line. Anthony, I'm actually surprised that you got so into this and you watched this.
I got so into it that I want to now. I don't know if I'm going to accomplish it. I can, but I don't know if I eventually. I want to watch all the movies.
Yeah.
I want to watch the 7 that I haven't seen.
I mean, you were at the Super Bowl, and then this for Movie Geeks is the Super Bowl of movies. However,
I also I feel like I'm very in an enlightened place because I did another float tank.
We have to talk about that in the post show. So you're open to everything right now.
I listened to that whole episode, by the way.
He did it again. I
did it again and scheduled another one.
The reason I'm saying I'm shocked that you watched this year's Oscars had the lowest ratings they've ever had, 23.6 million viewers compared.
Still a lot of people.
The week earlier you had 100 million people watching the Super Bowl, but 23.6 is a lot of people who are interested still.
It is a lot of. I would just say that is a lot of people. Network TV is happy when they get 1 million to 2 million people watching. Yeah. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But the float tank, you're doing it again. That means that you got a good result.
This is the second time I've done it.
Yeah, I know. So now you're going for 3.
I'm going to go for 3. Yeah.
Go for 3 and go. I'm
enjoying it.
Go for longer.
So did you see anything? Did you experience anything? Like really, you don't have to give me the whole. Just quickly, very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. I mean, I did see some auroras, but I'm not. I figured out in there, or maybe post, that I don't enjoy it to go on this hallucinogenic psychedelic experience, or I don't even necessarily go in there to relax.
Yeah,
I like it because I can go in there and just think and not be distracted from my thoughts.
Be with your thoughts.
Yeah, like where I don't have to be distracted from my phone or the wind buzzing or anything. Really, I'm just sitting there in silence, and I just let my mind go wherever it goes, and it goes. Thinks about all sorts of crazy shit, and I can really fucking visualize all the things I'm thinking about.
I mean, that is...
I literally come out, the second one especially, I came out super relaxed, but also super motivated at the same time.
It's a great way to use that tank because there's literally nowhere else, anywhere around you that you can just be alone and have no sensation and not be disturbed or distracted. Like even, you could sit at home in a dark room, but it's not the same.
Yeah, I think the effect I'm getting is that it gives your mind almost a reset. It gives it a break from everything else.
That's what acid does to me. It gives your mind a reset.
That's why a lot of people think of the best ideas when they're in the shower.
Yeah,
this is true.
Yeah,
this is actually very true.
Yeah,
You're not doing anything else. So would you go? You told me it went by really quick this time, quicker than last time.
Very quick in my mind. It felt like it was only 20, 30 minutes.
I think you need to do like the 90 minutes or even a 2 hour.
Oh, I've already got another one scheduled.
Yeah.
So. But I might jump into an hour and a half.
Because what happens after 60 minutes? What happens after 90 minutes? I'm sure it changes. I'm sure different things will happen the longer you stay in there.
I do think that is a contributor. Although immediately after the Oscars, I was like, I want to watch all these movies.
Yeah.
But
I thought your renaissance of film got ignited by Roadhouse.
Yes.
You're just like, I've been missing this my whole life. What else am I missing?
Rules.
And now he just realized, there's all these other movies I can watch that will friggin' be great.
I will thank the listener, even though they've subjected us to probably at least a quarter of the movies we've had to watch were shitty.
Yeah.
I will thank the listener in that they are pushing me to watch movies that I wouldn't otherwise watch, and it's making me curious about what else is out there.
Awesome. That's what we want. Yeah. He's growing. Our little boy is growing.
But the problem why I asked Ruggs is where do you start? What movies do you watch?
Yeah,
so at least the Oscars are giving me a set of movies to start with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's like you have to start knowing directors and you have to just kind of
build it.
Yeah, just like you know about comics when you're reading comic books, you're like, oh, what's going to be good? Oh, I know that this guy who's did this other comic that I liked is doing this whole new thing. I'm going to go check that out. Same idea, same basic concept.
Also, watching what comes out of the festivals is now it becomes kind of important because Parasite literally starts at Cannes Film Festival, and they did an amazing job with marketing.
Is that the one spelled Cannes?
Cannes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Cannes. But Boong was like on social media a lot. They had a hashtag. They had something called hashtag Boong Hive. And so like his fans were gathering around. So he kept this momentum going and got it into major theaters, and just the timing was right. And so it's a great, like, almost come from behind victory for Parasite. Beats out the favorite.
Well, I gotta say that Quentin Tarantino did turn me on to a lot of movies.
Yeah.
So Quentin Tarantino, if you didn't know, he would put out these lists and collections of films where he
That's a good place to go.
Quentin Tarantino presents, and he would just fucking find these crazy ass movies, and I fucking didn't love all of them, but quite a few of them I did like a lot. And one of them that he described was Old Boy.
Yeah.
Which was a fucking crazy ass movie, and then they remade it with Josh Brolin. Yeah. But that's Chan-wook Park, who was also a Korean director, and all of his movies are fucked up. And I watched all of his movies.
Yeah.
Like, so whenever he had a new movie come out, I would go check that out. So, yeah.
I mean, I might even find more Korean films. Cause
you ever see Audition?
No.
I think that's Bong Joon-ho too.
That's Bong.
Maybe. Is that Bong? Yeah.
Boom. Bong. Boy.
I got a quick question. What is there any reason, and maybe you guys don't know, but is there any reason why the Oscars are considered the preeminent award show, other than there's the Golden Globes?
I think it's
and then there's
just
all these
the
other
longest.
Ones. Just the length.
It's
probably the first
92 years. It was the first.
I think it's the hardest to actually become
a member of.
The Academy.
Yeah.
I've heard their process in terms of not only selecting but then voting.
Yeah, how do you get in there? That's a good question.
Yeah.
But apparently there's a lot more younger people going in.
You need money, dude.
There's still a bunch of old white guys.
The dudes,
but they're going to die, and they're going to have to get young people in there. So it's getting more diverse and a little more different.
Eventually, a Ryan Coogler and all these other guys will be in there.
Could we see a Bollywood movie ever win Best Picture?
Yeah, didn't Kama Sutra get nominated?
Oh, yeah, but I'm talking about Bollywood with the fucking dance numbers and the cheesy romance and the cheesy action scenes.
Well, I mean,
Chicago won Best Movie.
That's a good point. That's about a Bollywood movie.
Wasn't there a Bollywood type movie that got nominated years ago?
No. So if you're talking about like a Slumdog Millionaire,
no.
You're talking about
Millionaire, that one, and that came out of
that was
India.
But no, that's a British guy. That was Danny Boyle made that movie.
Oh, you're right.
Yes. But what Indian movie? What is the one you're talking about?
Well, I know one was called.
As of 2019, only 3 Indian films have been nominated for Best Picture Award: Mother India in 1957, Salaam Bombay in 1988. Oh, and there's a movie called Lagan in 2001. Lagan is the one I hear a lot of people talk about.
Right. Anything's possible. I would say that just because this movie won this year, this foreign language film, I don't know if the floodgates will necessarily open.
Yeah.
Because the Academy is still, it's changing a little bit, but then they can always bounce back to what they.
I'll say this:
they are.
With the advent of streaming, Netflix, and I've been saying this ever since Netflix started streaming stuff, is that Netflix has shitloads of representation, has shitloads of foreign films.
Yeah, they do.
Has shitloads of all kinds of stuff. Subtitles, Narcos. We all watch that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
new season comes out this week.
Yeah, Narcos Mexico.
Or it's already come out when the show comes out.
That's helping.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right? It's helping to get people used to reading subtitles. And
that's actually a very good point, because one of my coworkers was like, I don't think I could watch an entire movie where I read subtitles. And I go, you watch Narcos, right? They go, yeah.
Yeah.
They go, oh, fuck, I can. And then they were trying to justify it. They're going, but Spanish is a more common language.
Oh, my God.
All kind
just
of know.
Fucking lazy bastards. There's also, some of these movies come with English dubs. You could just turn
I don't like the dubbing.
I don't like
unless it's a
dubbing.
Godzilla movie.
That's funny. But you just switch
great.
the audio.
I mean, the dubs, that's not my favorite way of seeing things.
You want it in its original.
It ruins the performance.
Yeah.
Then you don't know if the performances are good.
I mean, you get a lot of the inflection.
You don't know. I have no. That's another thing with Parasite.
Yeah.
I don't know how great the performances are. I'm guessing the performances are good. I don't know if the line was delivered perfectly.
That's a good point.
I don't know.
But were they believable? Did you buy their actions and their motivation? I mean,
you know what? Sometimes.
Yeah. So here, let's wrap up the Oscars. Here's the big question, always after every Oscars. Ruggs, did the Oscars get it right this year?
I think it's everybody. Everything that got nominated should have been in the conversation. So yeah,
I think they got a large portion of it right. Anthony, any thoughts on did they get it right?
I don't know if they got it right.
Yeah.
I would say that if Joker would have won Best Picture, that probably would have been a bad choice. That would have been looked on back as a win in terms of they were just trying to give superhero movies their due.
Right.
Well, look, how do you politically looking at it?
Politically, they got it right.
Joker would be a bad choice, right? So Anthony's 100% right. The Irishman would have been bad choice because it's another movie that's glorifying.
1917 would not have been a bad choice, but
right, but would have been the same old thing. Would have been the same, very, 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 white movie.
Yeah. The movies, the two movies, I think that would have 3 movies. I think Marriage Story, Little Women, and Parasite would be good political choices.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. In fact, they should have nominated a woman
because I believe
director.
Little Women, from what I've read, is just about women living their lives.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Well, it's about Jane. Isn't it about Jane Austen? It's the Jane Austen book.
Yeah.
I think the majority of it, they got it right, and they're slowly showing the world that, look, we're changing a little bit, and we see things.
Well, you got that, but then you also have the fact, people were complaining about this, that there was no woman in the Best Director category.
There should have been a woman in the Best Director category. You had Greta Gerwig, I think, was...
I don't know. I can't comment if there should have been or not.
Why didn't they get her in there? I don't know.
Snubbed.
Well, okay, let's real quick.
Yeah.
So the 5 people were Bong Joon-ho, Martin Scorsese, Todd Phillips, Sam Mendes, Quentin Tarantino. You probably could have taken out Todd Phillips, right?
But just add her. You don't need to take anybody out.
Right now,
add her.
5.
I mean, you have Scorsese and Todd Phillips. That's the same fucking thing. Just keep Scorsese. Todd Phillips is just doing Scorsese.
I haven't seen Greta's movie, but if there was one, Todd Phillips' movie is probably the least out of those 5.
Yeah. Or just make it 6. That's also good.
Or just expand it. Yeah. That's what they did with Best Picture.
Yeah.
When you have, why let them all have a chance?
Shouldn't be pigeonholed to that 5. All right. There was a lot of crazy shit in the Oscars despite the low ratings. I was very, very entertained. Real quick to wrap up the news, a follow-up to last week's conversation where we talked about Sam Raimi in talks to direct the Doctor Strange sequel.
Yes.
And we had presumed that they're in previs, they got it all set up. What's he going to do? Well, turns out Scott Derrickson and his writer did not have a chance to even submit their draft to Marvel. So whatever they're doing at Sam Raimi, they're fucking
wide open.
They're starting from scratch, which I think that's the best possible situation for Sam Raimi Doctor Strange movie.
Wow.
So that gives me
Geek boner.
a lot more geek boner for that movie once they announce can do whatever he wants. It's going to be fucking
Now
good.
we're talking, people.
I mean,
good.
You're going to have...
Hopefully let's see if hopefully they bring on Sam Raimi.
Hopefully they do. The only thing he's got to work in is the stuff they're setting up in WandaVision and Loki, and the fact that Scarlet Witch is going to be in there and the ongoing storyline. But I think that's enough. Raimi's fucking super, super creative.
Do you think the Marvel Cinematic Universe will ever win Best Movie?
I mean, Black Panther got close.
It did get nominated.
And that's the thing. DC's got 4 Oscar-winning movies. Marvel's just got the one. I don't know. And the fact that Endgame didn't even win a visual effects, like, I feel like they're just, it's like you said, it's going to be years till they acknowledge, you know, these spectacle fucking serialized TV show on a movie screen movies.
That we'll see. Yeah, Black Panther last year got
Imagine
nominated.
if Fantastic Four is the one that...
Jesus. Well, the thing is, the MCU could never make a movie like Joker. They could never make a movie as dark as The Dark Knight, you know, so...
I mean,
I don't know.
X-Men has the potential because it's an allegory for all kinds of, you know...
If that comes out hard, about like homophobia or racism or police brutality, that could be a good contender, yes. See what happens. All right, let's take a break.
Happens.
Play some promos, and we're going to be back with talk about the Boyds of Prey.
Boyds.
And a super long title. I'm not going to read it now. Right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Carol.
And we're the hosts of Retro Late Fee. We are stuck in 1994.
And we can't get out.
We're watching all the movies and TV shows that you probably remember, I guess. Somehow we're speaking to you through some kind of time portal.
Right.
Join us every week for great movies and TV shows from 25 years ago.
It's fun, I swear.
Crisis for the geek kind. Top geek officials admit they underestimated the hipsters' defense capability. Join the geek revolution and save the galaxy. Geeks from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future. They're doing their part. Are you? Want to know more? Join Weeby Geeks and the Geek Revolution and save the world. Service guarantees citizenship. Listen to Weeby Geeks podcast on iTunes and Stitcher or online at WeebyGeeks.net. Weeby Geeks, your voice for the Geek Revolution. Want to know more?
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you are a fan of the show, if you enjoy the show, then you need to join our fan club. It's for our fans. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. And for any monetary donation, you will get access to bonus content, an exclusive RSS feed with instant reactions. All 3 of us this time put up instant reactions to Birds of Prey right after we watched it. That's always fun.
I did it.
You did it, Ruggs. I'm so proud of you.
Wowie zowie.
Well done. These shows come out early, the spinoff show, this show, and there's a sports program called Jock Talk. New episode up now. Anthony,
yes,
putting out content for the Patreon.
I care about the people.
Listen, there's a lot to listen to over there. Join it now, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Let's get to our first comic book movie of 2020 with Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Oh, I'm going to take a breath while I play the spoiler alert.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
Did you hear that major theater chains are changing the title already?
Yeah, we're going to get into that. Well,
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of craziness.
Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey
Changed the fucking title.
What? Didn't I say that the title's too long and it sounds ridiculous?
It's too long and nobody knew what it was, and the marketing was a little confusing, and there's a whole bunch of reasons we can get into. But as you'll hear, if you've seen the movie, listener, it should have just been fucking called Harley Quinn.
And what happens in the title doesn't even happen in the movie.
No, it doesn't. It should have just been called Harley Quinn. You don't even need the Birds of Prey bullshit. Should have just been called Harley Quinn, like the DC Universe cartoon. Perfect. Anyway,
let's get into it.
Rotten Tomatoes, the movie has gone down since last week. What was it at, like 86%?
Yeah, because they all of the people that work as reviewers, they don't want to get labeled as assholes, so they give a good review.
It's gone down to 79%.
Yeah. So
average rating 6.76 out of 10.
So all the straggler reviewers that don't get the advanced screenings
they're coming in
and
bringing the fucking average down.
They have to lick the boots, so they give it a great review.
Audience score 80%. So audience is still enjoying it. Critics initially, I thought, love this, but
not a ton of people seeing it though.
Not a ton of people seeing it. Box office. This movie has a budget of about $84 to $85 million. Opening weekend. So we discussed last week what we thought it was going to make. We all overshot.
Way overshot.
We overbid.
I thought it was going to make shitloads of money.
Yes, you did. We overbid by a lot. It was estimated to make $45 to $50 million. It makes $33 million opening weekend, which to some is
less than Godzilla.
Less than Godzilla. Not only that, this is the lowest opening of any of the DCEU extended movies, and it's even lower than the Green Lantern movie that opened at $53 million like 20 years ago.
Look at this. You have a character that so popular that every Halloween comic convention, everything you go, there's people dressed as Harley Quinn.
So popular,
merchandise is being sold.
They don't put the name of her in the movie.
Yeah,
I mean they do, but not the lead with.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This character is so popular. It should pull in at least Deadpool money.
We should definitely get into that as we
this is
as we talk about the movie.
Just for comparison, so right now it's made 38 million domestic, 46 million international. It's made $85 million. So in the first 3 days, it made the budget money back. But as these things go, you got to make double or triple to really make your money back.
The biggest comparison is Deadpool, right? Like this is a Deadpool-esque movie. It's rated R. It's got that kind of. Not as much as Deadpool, but there is a wink and a nod to the camera.
Similar.
So
yeah.
Whatchamacallit? The domestic opening for the first Deadpool, just to put this in perspective, was $132 million.
And Deadpool was not as known.
No.
But
right? Deadpool 2, just so we can be on the same page here, 125 opening. One more movie, just Logan, which is an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
Domestic opening 88, because I've heard some people making the excuse like, oh, this is February, it's rated R, it's all women.
Yeah. Is it?
I don't want to hear the excuses.
Is it,
this movie didn't do well.
It's a flop. Is it really a flop, or is it just about? Was there too much expectations?
I mean, I don't think it's a flop in terms of are they going to break even? No, but I think that when you have that much cachet and you have like people fucking everybody's dressing up as Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
People are buying Harley Quinn merchandise. For a movie to open that low, yes, it's just disappointment. Even though that the only thing that works in their favor is that they didn't invest a lot of money in the movie. And I think that maybe Margot Robbie didn't take a cut and she was waiting for the back end on this.
Oh, boy.
That kept the cost down. So, maybe that's the case.
Preteen girls love Harley Quinn from the cartoon, but this is an R-rated movie. However, Deadpool, you had a lot of young boys going in there. They got in there. It was the same thing. The dads would take their kids.
Studio, for what it's worth, expected $45 million, so it is below what they expected.
So comparing it, you can also kind of compare it to the last DCU movie, Shazam, because it had exactly the same budget. Now, Shazam's PG-13, but a lesser-known character. That movie opened to $53 million opening weekend.
Wow.
Right.
$20 million more than this. So I don't know.
And Margot Robbie, since Suicide Squad, has become even a bigger name within Hollywood.
Yeah.
She's regarded now as a really good actress.
Yeah, she does Oscar-worthy movies, and she does these fun, crazy movies. Speaking of who's in it, this movie directed by Kathy Ann, written by Christina Hodson, who had also written Bumblebee, which was a good movie, good script.
Yeah.
I liked it. Starring, as we mentioned, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. You got Rosie Perez as Renee Montoya, Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Helena Bertinelli / The Huntress, Journey Smollett Bell as Dinah Lance Black Canary. Fun fact, her brother just indicted in Chicago here for the false report.
Again?
Well, no, he was officially indicted. Like the trial happened like the other day.
Oh, that's her brother.
That's her brother.
Oh, no shit.
She's a Smollett. UC Smollett. You know that French actor? UC Smollett? That's the Dave Chappelle joke. Ewan McGregor playing Roman Sionis Black Mask, Ella J. Bosco as Cassandra Cain, Chris Messina as Victor Zaz, and you got Ali Wong in a small part in here, and that's your main cast. Anthony.
Yeah.
What's this movie about? Give us a quick plot, because clearly not a lot of people went out to see this.
Birds of Prey is this story about Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Breaking up with the Joker and being on her own. And her, along with 4 other women.
Yeah, sure.
Are all somehow tied to this mob boss. And they all have different ties to this mob boss and different storylines that intersect and interweave towards the end that are all revolving around this girl that stole a diamond that is very valuable.
There's a diamond. Everyone's after Harley after they find out she's been trolling them and she broke up with the Joker. So, yeah, you have a little bit of that John Wick, everyone's after him vibe, a little bit of the Deadpool vibe. Anthony, let's start with you. Opening thoughts coming out of this movie. You saw it first out of all of us. What did you think?
So I saw the hype around the movie with the good reviews. My friend Erwin, who's been on the show, watched the movie and messages us right before the movie, or right before a lot of us have seen it. He goes, "This is fucking great."
Oh, really? Erwin really liked it.
It's fucking great. He goes, the third act is great, like the fight scenes and all that stuff. So I was going, okay, like I'm this is making me excited to see this movie. I wasn't all that excited.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
See, John Bellotti agrees. So I was anticipating it a little bit more than normal. Went in to see the movie. It is, I'll get this out of the way, it's way better than Suicide Squad, so it's not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not like great either. It's kind of just okay. And the movie, for me, the movie really stumbles. I liked Harley Quinn. I don't know if she can necessarily carry a movie on her own, that character. The problem for me, though, is the rest of the Birds of Prey. The only one I really liked was Black Canary.
Yeah.
Or even connected with. The other ones are so flat to me, or they didn't do enough with them, that it really just kind of drags down the story, because I just don't care about most of the characters in this movie other than Harley Quinn. So yeah, it really, for me, is kind of a flat movie.
Okay, interesting. Ruggs, opening thoughts after watching this movie? Oh, are you okay? Did you hurt yourself?
Did you just hit your head on a gong?
No, you tell me to get close to the microphone.
Did he hit his head on the microphone?
And then I hit it.
That's too close, Ruggs.
All right.
You okay?
So,
you're going to have a bruise? You'll be fine.
I'm a little dizzy.
Oh, no. He's got a CTE now also.
Okay. What's CTE?
The concussion thing. What's it stand for?
Shit.
Somebody Google
chronic.
Chronic. Is it?
No. Is it?
It's
chronic testicle enlargement. I have that.
No, it's chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
There we go. Yep.
A degenerative disease caused by head injuries.
Right.
Oh.
What all the football players got. That's what you do. You get paid millions of dollars, and then you get CTE. I don't know.
And what's the symptoms of that?
I don't know. You kill yourself or your girlfriend. I don't know.
Yeah, you behavioral problems, mood problems, problems with thinking.
Suicidal.
You get suicidal. Yeah, a lot of these guys end up
dementia,
committing domestic abuse, suicide, dementia. Yeah.
Okay, so explosive diarrhea is not on it.
No, okay, you'll be fine.
No,
you're
no,
fine. That's not one of the symptoms. You're okay.
Yeah, you're good.
I just have the
He
explosive
just has the
diarrhea.
IBS, not the CT.
Yes.
Anyways, Birds of Prey, what'd you think?
Speaking of spraying shit everywhere. Look, as Anthony said, it's not a terrible movie. It's actually enjoyable. I enjoyed it, for what it was. But this is what happens when I see a bunch of great press for a movie.
Yeah.
And they tell me it's the greatest thing. And then I'm like, okay, are they wearing the rose-colored glasses? Are they faking the funk so they're not getting shit from anybody? What is this? Because as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, yeah, it's fun, but like, is it as good as everybody says it is?
Hard to know what to believe anymore.
So I had that constant, like, nagging thought while I was watching this movie. And then after it ended, I was like, and it ended like on such a like non-ending.
Yeah.
Like the ending was just like, it wasn't a revelation. It wasn't anything. It was just kind of like, it just ended.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh wow, like people are coming out of this movie like with huge fucking boners, and I don't get it. So, not that it wasn't fun, because it was, but like I'm just saying that the hyperbole, all of the shit that people were saying made it seem like the action sequences, like I kept on reading the action sequences. And there was action sequences that were good, but not all of them were good.
Yeah.
And in fact, some of them were downright bad. So, I just don't get, I don't get why the Huntress has to dump her bike in order to make Harley Quinn catch up to a car.
Do the whip move from roller derby.
That's unnecessary.
I didn't understand that part either. That was, it was kind of weird.
So, it's, and then what happens? They're on a dark pier and then, that's it. The movie's over.
Yeah.
And,
pretty much.
So I was just confused and puzzled that why movies keep getting these amazing reviews and they're not that good.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. The same thing with me. So I saw it on Monday after the weekend. Not a lot of people there. And initially, same thing with you, Ruggs. I was like, oh man, these reviews, this action, can't wait to see it. But by the time I had seen it, the opening numbers had come out and they had changed the fucking name of the movie. Shit. I was like, wow, okay. And so similar, Ruggs, I was watching this movie and I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for this great action, this great shit that everyone is getting geek boner about. And it really doesn't ever happen. I did enjoy it a lot. Very entertaining. I would say it was a good movie. Not great. It was good. I did enjoy a lot of the fight scenes. I think Margot Robbie is amazing in this. She does the comedy and the physicality parts really well. I like seeing her kick ass. In fact, to me, when she wasn't on the screen, the movie kind of dragged. Anytime she wasn't doing anything, was one of the problems I had. But it's just okay. And I expected it maybe to be funnier. I expected it to be more violent, actually. I thought it was going to be way more violent than it was.
There's this narrative that they're trying to paint that they're like, well, because it's a woman empowerment movie, men can't enjoy it. And that's not the case. In fact, I applaud make a movie for girls and make a movie, do whatever you want, but don't expect guys that are not me to like it. We were talking about Roadhouse the other day, right?
Yes.
That's a movie for guys.
Yes.
I don't expect girls to like that movie.
And this is a Roadhouse for women.
Yeah, so don't get mad if guys don't like this movie, they didn't show up. I mean, that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, but even the girls didn't show up.
I was just going to say the girls should be mad because they have a girl movie and they didn't show up.
They didn't fucking show up to this movie.
So I'm just saying, you want to make a girl power movie? You want to make a movie that is totally feminist and fucking hates men, where there's not even one man that's redeemable in this movie. Every man's a piece of shit in this movie
and evil. But I didn't think it was that heavy-handed. I didn't feel like they were pushing it.
No, but I'm saying fine, go for it, but just don't get mad that guys didn't show up. I don't expect girls to go watch fucking the stupid movies that I like. I don't expect them to be into fucking Roadhouse. All right, it's just
good point.
Whatever.
Good point.
I would. The compliments I'd give to the movie, you guys said some of them, Margot Robbie. I thought the third act, the sequences in the Funhouse, I didn't think the action was over the top awesome, but I enjoyed just looking at everything. I thought that was a very creative set.
Yeah.
I did enjoy, unlike Avengers Endgame, they didn't decide to shove it down our throats, or even X-Men Apocalypse, or was it X-Men Dark Phoenix, where the line, we do all the saving, we should be the X-Women.
Oh, yeah.
Or Avengers Endgame, where the girls just show up together.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying.
This one wasn't as heavy-handed in terms of, this is the women being together. There was no line where it was just we're together, we're women. It was just a matter of fact. These all just happen to be women. So that I respect. But you had mentioned it, Imran, about just being bored when Margot Robbie. I think that was the big failure. Is none of the birds of prey are all that interesting.
No, they're thin, very thin characters.
That's another thing. They had this chance, right? We're in the age of comic book movies, where there's suits, and we even have The Boys, where there's full costume heroes. Yep. Let's do it.
Yeah.
What they did was they took Cassandra Cain, who's a big badass, who was Batgirl at one point.
Yes.
And they make her a kid.
She's just a pickpocket that happens to get caught up in this whole thing.
Okay, well, the Huntress, who has one of the craziest looking fucking outfits, in the DC universe, and they make her just Arrow Light. You know, it's just like, okay, it's Purple Arrow.
Well, she's played for comedy.
Yeah, she's like the
yeah, and they use her as a butt of a
she's
joke.
the straight person, doesn't get anything.
Like, you have this opportunity to make bad. Like, we're not telling you. Like, there's some guy saying, I remember this one fucking asshole tweeted, and everybody retweeted the fact that the costumes aren't sexy enough. Who gives a fuck about the costumes being sexy? Like Sarah Connor wasn't wearing like super sexy
Ellen
stuff
Ripley
or whatever.
wasn't sexy ever.
Yeah, no one gives a shit about that. But we want to see, like, we're watching a comic book movie. Let's see fucking some comic book shit. Like let's not go. We're going to the costumes are looking like kick-ass costumes.
Yeah.
Not fucking like, DC, like look at it. Batman has an awesome costume and Superman has an awesome costume in the DCEU. All right. Why can't they have cool costumes? Like, why can't they have badass costumes? So I just was like, okay, visually there was some cool stuff. Like, there was a nice color palette and stuff like that, but maybe I guess women prefer that type of costume.
I mean, so many thoughts on this. A lot of the reasons I think the movie is confusing and did not get people's attention. If you're going in looking for the comics accurate Birds of Prey, you're not going to get it here. However, I didn't mind what they did with them. I actually, like Anthony said, I thought Black Canary had a pretty sexy costume, and when she started fighting, I was like, "Oh shit, this chick can fight!"
Oh, I thought she was pretty formidable.
I think they did a good job with her, and it works in this world. But
But they didn't handle her correctly either. They gave her like this power out of nowhere, and they didn't even like allude to it.
Well, they do the thing where they wait till the end for her to use it, and I was like, "Why wouldn't you use this earlier?"
Yeah, so like that wasn't handled well. That made me groan when I saw that. I'm like, okay, now she's just gonna do it.
Yeah,
with nothing, like no building up of the character, nothing.
Well, to be fair, they did show when she's singing in the club, the glass breaking. So they were hinting at it, but I agree, it wasn't.
Yeah, but
that's a big part of that character.
Can do that.
Yeah, and that's a big part of Black Canary is the voice. I don't know why they decided to subdue that part of her abilities.
They set up Harley well with her backstory. They set up the Huntress well with her backstory right from the comics, surviving the mob hit.
They set it up, yes, from the comics, but they made it a big joke. I don't necessarily have a strong opinion on it either way.
Yeah.
I thought, it is kind of clever in that if someone was taken as an assassin as a kid, they probably would be really awkward.
Yeah.
But that's all. She doesn't have a lot to her.
No.
It's ripped from the comics, but she's just a one-note awkward character.
She's kind of a plot device, too.
If you're reading the Batman universe, right? You're in the Batman universe, and you read Birds of Prey, and you read all these other books.
And you watch that shitty show on Fox.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You watch. I mean, that show was gone in a second.
They had costumes.
That doesn't even matter. It's a blip on the radar.
They had Batgirl in costume.
Yeah, but they actually had Batgirl in costume there. Like, if you're waiting to see Black Canary, and that's one of your favorite characters, I mean, she was featured on Justice League.
Yeah,
She's featured on all these cartoons.
The Arrowverse.
Yeah, so if you're waiting to see, like, the big screen version of Black Canary, and whatever you want to say about the casting or whatever they dressed her, I don't even care about that at all. I'm just like, but let it at least be Dinah Lance.
Yeah, it's Dinah Lance. That I know about this bugged you a lot, but honestly, I don't have that much of a connection to the Birds of Prey myself, so it didn't really bother me. I was like, this is what they're doing for this movie. It's fine.
But think about the fans of people. Let's say the fans of Cassandra Cain.
Yeah. That is the biggest.
They were punched in the balls.
Cassandra Cain is the biggest deep
Huntress. They were punched in the balls.
Comic book.
Yeah, I was really confused on the Cassandra Cain. I was like, isn't this a Batgirl type?
So she's another girl like the Huntress who was raised by assassins, and she's a mute, and she actually becomes Batgirl.
You basically have like three of the best hand-to-hand combat people of the DC universe that are women, and only one of them actually is like featured, and then one of them is a child.
Which is why this movie should have just been called Harley Quinn, because they say the words Birds of Prey at the end. It took so long for them to set up this team anyways. Like, it doesn't happen until the very end, and they just start working together.
Right.
The movie should have just been called Harley Quinn.
And not only that, but like, okay, let's say you're doing an emancipation film. All right, show the emancipation.
Yes, it would have been nice to see the breakup with Joker and why. And I believe there were some scenes that were cut where Joker was throwing her clothes out of the window of their apartment, and they cut all those. But
whatever. The thing is, it's like the whole entire thing. You watch that Joker Harley Quinn cartoon, right?
It's great,
and it's that whole thing is the Joker and her going back and forth.
Yep, and it tells
that's fun.
It tells a way better. It's a great version of Harley Quinn and her
But that's
problem.
the thing and that's the political decision that they made. Two things. Number one, they wanted to get Jared Leto out.
Yeah.
All right, they didn't want to use him anymore, and maybe he didn't want to come back to do it. So there's that fucking problem. And the second thing is that they didn't want the Joker to be there because to steal the thunder
overshadows.
of Harley.
But you can do that where she's still in control, and you get that she's in this codependent relationship. And
that strong character to be there because they felt it was so. It was like, no, this is Harley's movie. So like it really diminished the whole idea of the fun of the interesting aspect of her coming to terms with being on her own and having the strength to get him out of her life. And not only that, do you think the Joker's just going to sit there and let her go without trying to kill her at least?
Anthony, could this movie have used some more Joker? Imagine instead of Black Mask, that was the Joker. I think that would have been a fucking sick movie also.
It might have made more sense with the Joker if you're going to go with the title Emancipation of Harley Quinn. I didn't necessarily mind Black Mask.
Yeah.
I thought Ewan McGregor was fine. The one thing I would say, kind of pivoting off of that, though, is this movie clearly by the end, it seems like they're trying to set you up so that you want to watch more Harley Quinn movies and a Birds of Prey movie. And it's clear to me, at least in my opinion, I have no desire in watching a Birds of Prey movie
I
after
would
seeing
watch
this
another
movie.
Harley Quinn movie, and this is going to be interesting.
Maybe, but also it's an interesting direction they're going with, like Harley Quinn and Cassandra Cain as her sidekick.
Yeah, and Bruce the
Which is
hyena. Don't forget
strange.
Bruce.
Like, what if at the end of the movie, when they're in the amusement park, and Sionis is almost basically is getting the upper hand and about to win, then out of nowhere the Joker shows
up and kills everybody.
And then tries to kill Harley, but Harley somehow fucking overcomes him, doesn't kill him, but basically like breaks every bone in his body.
Or he comes in and like kills Mask and takes the credit for like saving everyone and completely, pushes away Harley.
Those probably would have been much better in terms of not only the title, but the story of Harley finally breaking free from this controlling ex-boyfriend.
Yes.
I think I was thinking about during the movie, I'm going, is DC just thinking that fans are stupid and they don't want to confuse people by having a different Joker so soon from the Joker?
What would you do? Would you have used Jared Leto?
You have to.
I guess I don't. You know what?
No, because you know what? Joaquin Phoenix isn't walking through that door to do Birds of Prey.
No, it's not him. And maybe Jared would have been fine given more to do because he really didn't get to do much. I don't know.
Harley Quinn fucks up the Joker so much that his face is unrecognizable, and then you could cast a new person.
Oh, that's good. And she or Victor Zsasz cuts his face off. Like he was doing.
I didn't even realize that was Victor Zsasz until he said his name. I was going, shit,
well, he
it is Victor
explains
Zsasz.
the cuts and everything.
Yeah.
Was it me or was? So I love Ewan McGregor's over the top fucking Black Mask was great. I didn't know if you were supposed to like laugh at him or be afraid of him. He didn't seem that menacing, but it seemed like him and Zaz had a thing, or there was like a bisexual energy going on. I don't know.
Yeah, there was definitely some kind of a vibe like that. But the thing with the Black Mask is like, why put the mask on at all?
I don't know, because he's crazy and he likes masks.
I guess everybody shows up in masks.
They already know what he looks. They know what he looks like. That's from the comics. That's an Easter egg.
I just didn't. I liked Ewan McGregor. They tried making him really evil with like cutting off faces and then making that girl dance because she was laughing. The only issue I had is they didn't do enough to make him any different than any other crime mob boss in Gotham.
It kind of felt
is
flat.
He really more formidable than the Joker or the Riddler or the Penguin?
Yeah.
I was hoping that he was going to get disfigured and he'd wear the mask.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
So the funniest part of the movie in my theater, where everyone just fucking gasped and howled, was when he blows up at the very end. It's like super unexpected and violent, and that was hilarious. And no more Black Mask.
It was just okay.
What about the eggs? You know what the biggest thing that they were tweeting about?
The breakfast sandwich?
No, the hair thing.
The hair thing?
What, she cuts off her hair?
At one point during the fight scene in the funhouse.
Yeah.
Oh, the hair
Harley
tie.
Quinn, offers her a hair tie.
Oh, the scrunchie. Yeah, you got to pull your hair back. It gets in your face.
And they made such a huge deal about that. Like, oh my God, someone finally understands what it's like to have, like, guys have long hair too, you know?
But
like,
the scrunchy move is great. Someone was
man buns? Okay.
Someone was like, imagine in the next Wonder Woman movie, before she fights the dude, she stops for a second, pulls out a scrunchie, puts her hair back, and then she's all fucking badass. I mean, the little touch like that, that's something women will notice and appreciate.
I just think that it's funny that they think that because they're the only people in the world that have long hair, that they know that nobody who has a penis could know what it's like to have hair in there. Imran, you used to have long hair. I used to have long hair.
Got in my face.
Yeah.
Had a little
we used to have the fucking man bun all the time.
Another thing I can credit this movie to in terms of the action scenes is not cutting away from the action scene. I thought the fight choreography was decent at times. There's, the one in the warehouse.
I think Chad Stileski did the warehouse one.
There's some amazing baseball bat work where she fucking throws it, hits him in the head, bounces off, she catches it.
If you're going to do a reshoot somewhere, warehouse is an easy location to shoot.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of bang for your buck in that one fight scene. And I think that was one of the best fight scenes in the whole movie. That one and the one in the prison with the water was pretty good.
So the non-lethal attack on the police station.
That I didn't get. No, police station. There's no guns.
Yeah, why isn't anybody
Nobody shoots her?
Why is anybody
that was
shooting her?
strange. I was like, why is everyone? How can there's no possible way she can take everyone out.
She's
like this.
walking in and she's just shooting.
And she's shooting.
And glitter.
She's shooting non-lethal weapons.
I love the smoke though, and her walking through the smoke and the glitter and the confetti. Like I thought it was really like the colors in this movie are great.
Yeah,
popped. Yeah. But it was just nice. I thought it was interesting that she went non-lethal. Because it's not like a Terminator where you're going to get away walking in.
Trying to make her like
relatable.
Show that she's not really bad.
Right.
But she is bad, but she's not really bad.
At least she's taking her turn to be not bad.
Wide shot on the fight scenes.
I just don't like the inconsistency. So Harley Quinn walks into this police station, goes through all the policemen, all the criminals, and fights off a bunch of guys in the warehouse like a ninja.
Yeah.
And then Rosie Perez, who's in her 50s, takes her down in a fight.
Well, how about the last scene in the funhouse where these three women take down like 50 dudes with weapons, just with their fists?
That I don't care about. I mean, if she's already kicking ass like Bruce Lee throughout the whole movie, then fine. But I just think it's funny that, okay, the only person, every guy, easy to kill.
Yeah.
But a 50-year-old woman who's a cop, that's a challenge.
I love Rosie Perez.
I know.
And there wasn't any establishment that Renee Montoya was any sort of physical threat up until that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even understand Renee Montoya's role in the movie. Like, why is she in the Birds of Prey? She's what?
She knows how the cops operate.
She's a cop. What does that have to do with being a bird? What power does she have? I don't know.
She has no powers. The character also created in the animated series first, like Harley Quinn, is basically she's tired of police corruption and wants to go out on her own.
I felt like that was a weak spot in the movie too. We kept on going back to her and like, I don't care about you. You're a cop.
Yeah, you kept going back to her and then like very.
Did they need her in the movie at all?
No, you didn't need her, and they kept teasing that relationship with her and the DA or the prosecutor, and just like, no one cares about this. We don't care about the lesbian relationship you had. It's not even established. Like, what's going on?
It's just like one of those things that they throw out there. But like, I don't mind that they did that. It's just like I wish that the character like needed to be in the film. Like
the momentum stops every time you cut to her scenes.
It does. But
the other characters they're just very thin, didn't get a lot of chance to develop because it's just a Harley Quinn movie.
I really didn't understand Cassandra Cain. Like, why take that character and make her just a snot-nosed kid that's the typical delinquent kid that's just stealing everything on the street
kid.
Yeah,
and this is not even a movie for kids. So it's like there's no need to sandwich it in there. Like, I could understand you're trying to get the PG-13, these kids, to feel like, oh, they're being represented as a child. But it's a rated R movie, so there's no need for it.
Yeah.
Speaking of sandwich, the breakfast sandwich bits were hilarious, and her voiceover at times was a little much, but Deadpool did the same thing with the fucking voiceover telling you what's going on.
As much as I will re-emphasize, this is not a mess. It's not. It's better than. It's way better than Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it actually has like a follow through thing, unlike Suicide Squad.
I think you mentioned this earlier. I expected it to be funnier. I wasn't laughing all that much.
Yeah, I was not either. I thought they could.
I chuckled a little bit at some lines Harley Quinn had, but other than that, I wasn't. I was expecting. I think I laughed more during the Deadpool movies.
Well, then,
Deadpool's way funnier.
The thing is that it didn't really lean in. It didn't need to be rated R.
No,
it really didn't. You could have cut a couple of things out and got a PG-13 rating.
There was
no
gratuitous
problem.
F-bombs that if you just left those out,
but I mean,
you could have
there's
had
no
that
nudity.
violence. Yeah,
there's no explicit sex. Not that there needs to be. I'm just saying that this is what you can get away with.
Isn't that violent?
The violence isn't that.
A lot of breaking of legs.
Yeah.
The dude blows up.
There's not a lot of gore.
So had they gone for the PG-13, in fact, Margot Robbie fought for this movie to be R-rated, which is why she took that pay cut to make an R-rated movie. But you could have made more money. The people who love Harley are preteen girls, and then you make this R-rated movie. You're going to exclude them because preteen girls aren't going to sneak into R-rated movies. That's like a guy thing.
I would disagree. I don't think it needed to be R-rated, but I don't think the R rating necessarily prohibits people anymore from seeing a movie they want to see.
Sure. I just don't think the girls these days are that. They're that type of teen that they're we're going to sneak into. I can't speak on
that. I don't know if girls sneak into movies.
You should know the most, no?
If girls sneak into movies? I have no clue. I didn't really sneak into too many R-rated movies as a kid either.
You didn't? No. I did. I may have.
I did, but I knew people who worked at the theater. Yeah. I knew people, so it's like I know
people.
I know this dude.
I used to work at a movie theater.
Yo, tell Jerome I'm here. He'll let me in. So the other thing that really I didn't like was the kind of inconsistent tone. I wish they leaned more into it just being super cartoony and outrageous.
You love that fucking TV show.
I want it to be the TV show is so fucked up. The shit they do in this show is so fucked up. It's amazing. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, that's what I was hoping from this, and it never got there.
I don't know if I can agree with that because I saw the first episode of that show and I did not like it.
The rest, it's fucking great.
So you watched the first episode, you didn't like it either.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
we reviewed it on the show. You can listen.
We reviewed it, but you gotta. It's just the first episode. There's 13. You gotta watch the others.
All right.
It gets so much better.
I got Oscar movies to watch.
Yeah, you got Oscar movies to watch.
All right. So what were we talking about here?
Was the tone a little uneven for you guys?
No, that didn't bother me either.
Okay.
The things that bothered me about this movie are not the tone, the color, the bias, this and that. All of those is fine. It's just make a good movie. When the fight scenes, when people say fight scenes are awesome, they should be awesome. They shouldn't just be like John Wick.
Yes,
they're not even close to John Wick.
No, not close.
They're pretty good, but not close to John Wick level.
When you hire the guy that does John Wick, I expected John Wick type.
But
stuff.
you see, like the drop kicks and the physical, the choreographed moves and the flips, like that's all Chad Stahelski. But I could have used a little bit more. The stuff with the gun was good too. Like she's using it as a weapon and shooting. That's very John Wicky.
I don't even remember it.
Yeah,
I don't even remember anything definitive in the fight scenes other than her jumping up and down and breaking the dude's knees.
That's the other problem. It is. I think I'll forget this movie. I don't know how memorable. I don't know if it's going to stick with me.
It's a blip. The movie really is. Yeah. It's fine, but it's just going to be a blip.
Because what was it about? There was no message. There was nothing to get to at the end. There was no revelation, you guys said.
The message is that you don't need men, right? All these people are inhibited by men, right? Cassandra Cain doesn't have parents. Harley with the Joker.
Yeah.
Dinah Lance with the boss being Ewan McGregor. She's the butler.
Yeah.
And then Renee Montoya is all the accomplishments go to her male boss.
Yes.
So it's all about fuck these men. We're we can do it together. It's not super heavy-handed, but it is. Yeah. That's the message.
Yeah,
we can do it on our own.
Yeah. But at the end, they're still bad people too, and she runs off and leaves them hanging and takes the diamond and. I don't know. That's Harley.
I don't know. I think that's a way more interesting movie that could have been made.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was something missing. It could have been great. And it just.
I feel like the Joker's missing. Yeah. It's one of the big things that's missing.
Also, where the fuck is Batman? Do you think he would have shown up and all this shit is going on? He doesn't know what's going on in Gotham?
He doesn't get involved.
He doesn't give a fuck? All right.
Yeah.
No Batman.
I don't know. I feel like that Margot Robbie has got a lot of star power. Harley Quinn's very high profile.
Yeah.
They had comic book characters that people have been waiting to see on the big screen, fully realized. And what they managed to do is the people who were going to see Birds of Prey, they screwed them over.
Yeah.
The people who went to see Harley, they got a lot of Harley doing some badass stuff. And the people who were hoping to see the Joker or something the Joker in this movie did not get to see that either. And so you're kind of left with, all right, what was accomplished, and what was accomplished is kind of like a Deadpool kind of a movie starring Margot Robbie with her star power with this character that everybody likes. And you can have fun watching this movie. You can enjoy it, but it is far from the 92% that it was at when it first came out.
Yeah. No, it is a fun movie, but yeah, they could have gone a little further. They could have pushed things a little further. I did enjoy Rosie Perez's shirt in that one scene. What did it say? I shaved my balls.
For this.
I shaved my balls for this. It's a great shirt. And then what about that post-credit audio? You guys stay around for that? Did you hear this?
I did.
It was stupid.
I thought she was going to say, because she goes, oh, you guys are still here? Let me tell you a secret. Batman. And I thought they were going to do the thing from the cartoon. And she was going to be like, Batman fucks bats.
I chuckled a little bit and then I walked out. But most of the people that stayed in the theater are like, what?
What is that?
What are you talking about? We stayed for this?
Yeah, I thought I was really mad.
So we've already cleared up. It didn't need to be R-rated. It would have benefited from a little bit of Joker, maybe.
I think it benefits from making the Birds of Prey actual characters that you care about.
That also should have probably been done a little bit more, but then or just call it Harley and have him show up at the end.
Or just make it a Harley Quinn
movie. Then it wouldn't have been a problem. Let's go back to the box office discussion. Why do you guys think this underperformed? I think there's several things happening at once.
My first thought was, wow, Suicide Squad really fucked this movie over.
But I think a lot of people thought it was a sequel to Suicide Squad.
Number two, the second thought I had was maybe Harley Quinn isn't as popular as we think.
Or Warner Brothers seems to think.
Whereas Warner Brothers seems to think.
But I think how could they not title this movie Harley Quinn from the beginning and not know?
I think the Fantabulous Emancipation.
What the fuck? Nobody likes long titles.
Like such a silly movie that and dumb. That's a dumb title.
You know, it's a comic book movie, but it's not really connecting with the people who read the Birds of Prey comic book. So that's
and it's not. It doesn't deliver on the title. It's not the Birds of Prey movie.
They would have made. I think they could have hit 50 million had they just called it fucking Harley Quinn. It's that simple. I don't understand who thought this was a fucking good idea. The marketing is also, I think, not great at telling you what you were going to get into or selling the movie, because I don't think they knew who was the target audience for this movie. Clearly, their target audience they thought did not show up.
Yeah, I was quite surprised. I mean, we all predicted a much bigger take in the box office.
I thought she was popular.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have the answer. I'm equally surprised.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I would say that the movie is okay.
Yeah.
We've seen okay movies do very well, and we've seen movies like this not do well. So
I think if this movie has legs and has good word of mouth,
it won't.
You don't think it can make? If it makes like 200 million domestic or 300,
no. 200 million? Are you kidding me?
What,
with a 330 million, there's no way this movie has legs.
150? No,
we've literally just talked about how the movie is just an okay movie. I don't think it's going to have legs.
You don't think word of mouth is going to tell people are going to be like, go see this? It's actually fun.
I think that. How
many people have you told to say go see this? Sorry,
I think that you had a friend that thought it was amazing. Right?
This is true.
Yeah.
So I think that there's going to be a percentage of the population. You know, we have our Wesley Cranford. You know.
Yeah.
That like to go to the movies.
I have his comments later, but you're exactly right. But if they can somehow
have fun and they don't give a shit,
they can make like overall worldwide like $240 million total, 240. Like you'll be all right. They made their money back in a little bit.
I just don't think it'll have legs here. I don't see this being the hype movie.
Let's do predictions for how high is it going to go
here or around.
How high is the global take?
Let me take a look at the box office real quick.
Like, I think it could get to 280 maybe globally.
So right now it's
at
33 here, and what's it?
46. It's not opening in China. You know they're not going to. They didn't let Deadpool in China. They're not letting this fucking movie in China.
Worldwide it's at 85. So yeah, I mean, shit. I think 160.
Well, oh shit, total?
Yeah.
That's only double the fucking budget, which is them breaking even. So.
Right.
So here's the next question. Margot Robbie and Harley Quinn will be in James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
I had no idea.
with Captain Boomerang, Idris Elba. Is this now? Do you think Warner Brothers is like, oh, I don't know about the Suicide Squad sequel. This is going to take two. If Birds of Prey went this way,
she might be better off as it. Go ahead
with James Gunn.
If I was the guys that this is going to sound so bad, but I'm like If I'm the guy, if I'm James Gunn, I'm going, Harley, we're going to change your outfit for the next movie.
Oh, man.
Well, there's been set photos. She's wearing like red and black, like from the cartoon and the original Harley Quinn outfit.
My thought is she might be better off as a side character.
Yeah, with all these other people.
She might be like a Hulk, where that's where she's better utilized.
But if they get so all their DC's, we'll get into the ranking, but DC's ensemble team movies they're not their strongest movies, and they're making another one. So if they couldn't get people in the seats for a Harley Quinn movie, how are they going to get people in the seats for this weird reboot of the Suicide Squad, which is also confusing because it's just called The Suicide Squad, not knowing it's a sequel walking into this for a lot of people. That's going to be interesting. I don't know if that movie does well.
Yeah, I
don't know. It's all going to be depending on the trailer. I mean, it's James Gunn.
Yeah.
That has something that means something to some people.
Yeah.
So
a couple of the Easter eggs I did enjoy were Ace Chemicals. You got to see Ace Chemicals again. You saw it in Suicide Squad and Batman, and that's where Joker was made, and that's where Harley was made. The roller derby in the beginning I thought was kind of funny because she was just fucking punching those broads out.
That's from
the comic book.
Yeah.
Straight from the comic book. They mentioned Dinah's mother, who used to work with the cops, also as a Black Canary. So that's kind of like the comics where the Lance family is.
The Canary has multiple origins.
Yeah.
Earlier in like the Golden Age or the Silver Age, there was some weird ass shit.
Yeah.
And then post Crisis, they had this weird.
They changed it.
Yeah. So and now the New 52 basically, it's the closest to what we're talking about with the rock band.
She was in a rock band in the New 52 version. Black Canary is in a rock band.
She's was in the military or something.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
We saw the Canary cry like just once. I wish she could have used it more.
Yeah, she's a metahuman.
Harley. Oh yeah, that's right. She's a meta, like an Arrow. Harley's backstory in the beginning, the animated opening, which is kind of fun. That's straight from the animated series. That flyer where she walks by and she goes, "I know that guy. That's fucking Boomerang."
Yeah.
On the flyer, so he broke out also, and he's gonna be in the next movie. I thought it was funny. She mentioned she voted for Bernie Sanders, and that's why Black Mask doesn't like her. That was quick. And then Zaz's scars are the same. Amusement Mile is a location in Gotham in the comic books. Let's rate it. Let's rank it.
Wait, we forgot Bruce the Hyena that they didn't do anything with.
Yes. Why?
You should have two hyenas.
Dude, John Wick 3 had an amazing German Shepherd attack scene.
Know.
They did not. Why didn't they use Bruce in the cartoon?
God, that would have been amazing.
Two called Bud and Lou, named after Abbott and Costello. And this one, she's like, I named it Bruce after that Wayne fella. And it was a real dog that they made look like a hyena, apparently.
Yeah, that was a waste.
Yeah, why didn't she use fucking the Bruce in an attack?
Should have had a bigger role, that hyena.
He thought he was dead, and then he just shows up at the end. Like, the fuck?
You know what was funny in this movie? That guy with the tattoo on his face.
Oh, that came after her with the crossbow.
Yeah.
He's like, you did this to me. It's just like, nice tattoo.
And then they had the obligatory roofie guy.
Oh, yeah.
Who tries to, like, take advantage of her.
That was like the John Wick part where, like, she's just everyone's coming for her and she can't fucking get away. But whatever. All right, look, let's rate it. Anthony, give me a number out of 10. And where does it fall? We're looking at 8 movies in this DCEU extended universe now.
So I would give it a solid 5.9.
Okay. Damn.
Almost a 6.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's fine. I don't know what I've ranked the other movies, but this is just off the top of my head. I would say Wonder Woman, Shazam. What other movies?
I didn't put Joker in here. Joker.
Oh, Joker. Yeah, those are all better movies. So I have it in the same kind of tier as like Aquaman, maybe. I think it's a little better than Aquaman. So
okay.
I think Aquaman's actually kind of a mess, and then
then
you got Man of Steel, and then the other bullshit.
Yeah, no, that's solid.
I mean, it's fine. It's right in the middle, like maybe a little up there, but not a strong slate of movies that's going up against.
Yeah, Ruggs, give me a number and a ranking.
I mean, oh Jesus Christ! I mean, it had promise. This movie has promise. It could have been something really great.
Yeah.
And I do see the potential of this character.
What do you think of Kathy Ann's directing? Kind of first time with all this action. I thought she did a good job.
She was taking. It seemed like she was doing an impression of Guy Ritchie.
A little bit, yes. And then we have a comment about that later. Yes.
Yeah, it was like Lock, Stock, Two
But it could have been more like that, you know?
Yeah, it wasn't enough. But like it was like Deadpool. It was like a lot of other things that we've seen. That's why I wish they would have cut their own path.
And the story itself of like a pickpocket, that it's not the most original fucking storyline.
But so all that said, I did enjoy it. I wasn't like fucking like, oh, what a fucking ripoff, like this movie. Like this is such bullshit. Like when I came out of Suicide Squad, after that I was like flabbergasted how bad that movie was.
Yeah.
Floppy Jock. So it wasn't as bad. So I'm going to say give it a 6. Better than average, 5 being average.
Yeah.
So it's better than average. It has promise. I could see people easily liking this movie if they're not really looking to look for problems. You're just there to like unplug and whatever. You might really like it.
Absolutely. So. I thought I did have fun. It was an entertaining movie, fun to watch. I wasn't mad at the movie at all. Yeah. And if you just turn your brain off and you want a good time at the theater, this movie delivers. I'm feeling like a 7. I'm going to give it a 7. Ruggs, where would you rank this out of all the movies?
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm with Anthony. Top tier being like Joker, Wonder Woman, then Shazam. And I also agree it's a little bit better than Aquaman. So then I would put this movie, then Aquaman, and then fucking Man of Steel, and like Suicide Squad, BVS at the bottom, and Justice League at the fucking bottom. That's the bottom tier.
Wow.
Yeah. So not their best, but not their worst. Like solidly in the middle.
Yeah.
What do you think? Same? Where would you put it?
I don't know. I have like love-hate relationships with Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know. Like, Suicide Squad is definitely the worst.
Yeah, I think so.
And then Justice League's the second worst. Then Batman versus Superman, Man of Steel.
Okay.
Then you have Birds of Prey.
And then Aquaman after Birds of Prey.
Yeah. Like Aquaman's just visually more of a directing wise, it's just visually more of a feast. And it's
but it's almost too
cohesive.
much. There's too many things. They fucking did everything.
Yeah. But I remember that movie.
You do. Yeah.
I do. I remember it.
I remember
it. Stupid as it is. It's a stupid movie.
So even though I put it above Aquaman, I feel like I will remember Aquaman more than some of the things I saw here.
True.
I really should have enjoyed this more with the John Wick Deadpool kind of thing they were going for, but they just
Aquaman certainly is a more memorable film.
They didn't go far enough. They didn't push it far enough.
Yeah.
Watch the cartoon. That's how you push it far. That's how you
watch
go
the cartoon.
over the fucking line is what the cartoon does. So the Suicide Squad 2 movie also will be rated R and also won't have a Batman or Joker. So again, I don't know. James Gunn's got to be the only thing that's going to get people in this movie. There's no Will Smith. I mean, I think Will Smith, that's why the first Suicide Squad movie made a lot of money.
Yeah.
It almost made $800 million. It made like $750 million.
Well, you had Will Smith in there, and he could help bring an audience in.
Now you're leaning on Margot Robbie and James Gunn.
But nobody knew how shitty DC was at this point.
It was like their third movie out. All right, good stuff. Check out the movie if you want. Do what you want. It's a free world. Let's get into the news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. All fart work brought to you by Rug Boys Slack Hole. Oh, shit.
I ventilated.
Yes, you did. This is the part of the show where I read the listeners' comments from our Jock and Nerd Facebook group called Jock and Nerd Nation. Humphrey Ching, Anthony, who's the first guest on the spinoff show.
Yeah.
He has some thoughts. He said, okay, and this was in our spoiler thread, so this is why you should join Facebook group. I like to put up spoiler threads for things you can geek out safely. He said, saw the movie last night, and I got to say, it was a fun movie. It was actually pretty good. But if you're a hardcore DC fan, then yeah, you will be upset because it's the first movie out of the DCU that makes the characters look nothing like what they're supposed to. But with some quote-unquote character, they stay what's true to the character. Honestly, it was like watching DC's version of Deadpool, but in a Guy Ritchie or True Romance kind of world. I like that comment. True Romance is a much better movie than this. We could have done more True Romance. He continues, the film is really enjoyable, doesn't force any kind of agenda. If anything, I wish it stayed more true to the character's representation because it really doesn't feel like it's in the same universe with other DCEU movies. If they would have given Black Canary and Huntress a more accurate representation of the comic costumes at the end of the movie, it would fit in more. But they went the Smallville route. Go watch it. It's still a good movie. Anthony, do you feel like this fits in with this? Is this the same universe? Does it need to feel like the same universe?
I think they're trying to just make these films their own little thing, so I don't think they really care right now.
They didn't
about making it feel like the same universe. So that's my thought.
Yeah, it gets all kind of disjointed then moving forward, but it could work. Irvin De La Cruz said, watched it. I liked it more than I thought I would. Places it in the top DCEU movies for sure. I've been saying this for a while, that DC is inching forward. Each movie they make is a little bit better than the last one. They just about have the formula down. I thought they did a good job on her character, making the movie goofy, yet violent, which basically represents Harley herself. That part's true. I don't think this movie was better than the last one. I think this maybe was a parallel side move, maybe not necessarily.
Yeah, I think it's in some ways a step in the right direction.
Yes.
Like by broadening the scope of who could be a hero, who can be a star of a movie, but at the same time, they didn't really bring anything new and exciting. They kind of aped another couple of other movies.
And I mean, like, think about Shazam. That movie has so much heart.
Yeah.
It's fun to think about. It's fun to watch again. This one just like it needed a little bit of something of that.
You think that's what they're doing? They just walk in and going, we're going to do big, but we're going to do Shazam.
Yes.
And we're going to do
Sold.
Snatch,
Yes.
but we're going to do
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
Yes. This may be what they're doing. Find movies people like and then just put DC characters in there.
Yeah.
Ruggs, you mentioned our Yank from Down Under, Benjamin Wesley Cranford. He said, so I went in with no expectations, and I'm sure I can pick it to pieces, and I don't disagree with a lot said on this thread, but honestly, I wanted a fun superhero action romp, and that's exactly what I got. The characters are fun. Love Ewan McGregor as Black Mask. He played it right out of the cartoons. I wish they didn't kill him, though.
Did he, though, play it out of the cartoons?
I mean, that Black Mask in the cartoon, I feel
is inaccurate.
It's a little more villainous.
I object.
But the movie definitely has a cartoon feel.
Man.
So it does. Some of the cartoon comes to life. He says, I wish they didn't kill him. I could not stop smiling during the Funhouse fight scene. That was awesome. So many great bits. The action was superb. The first DC movie in a long time that I was thoroughly engrossed in. I really liked it. It is this pulp, and it did not disappoint. But hey, I'm a bit like Imran. I like or am easy on most things.
That's true.
Thank God you guys do all the thinking so I can watch as a mindless automaton.
Wes, I want you to go back and watch the Funhouse scene and just look at the guys that they're fighting.
Yeah, so
they're sitting there waiting to get hit.
Yes, this is my one nitpicky.
That's not good fight action.
No. The Funhouse scene reminded me a little bit of a Joel Schumacher Batman movie.
Maybe, yeah.
I was getting that feel. It was clever, like the flapping hands and the way they, but like, I don't know. It was
I feel like that what happens is, and this is brilliant on their part, they have these really 3 great little fight sequences in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
So you're kind of riding the high of that. So when the next the fight sequences, you think that they're still as good.
Yeah.
You don't really see that there's a disconnect between
that
those.
Is interesting, Ruggs. I think you may be right because the last one does is a little disappointing compared to the first couple.
Yeah.
But you're right. You're just like, oh, this is good like that one. But I was like, I don't know. This is a little bit goofy. It's a little Schumacher-y. I don't know what's going on here. Thanks to the nation for leaving their spoiler thoughts. You guys, to finish the show, I just wanted to know if you guys been watching anything you want to.
I've been meaning to watch
suggest.
Lock and Key, but I have not watched it yet.
Lock and Key is out on Netflix. It's 10 episodes based on a comic book that ran like in the mid 2000s.
Great.
This one,
great comic.
Have you read it?
Yeah, I read the first. There's so many volumes.
There's like six trades with like six issues.
I think I read like two of them.
And this is a book that people always recommend when they're like, what should I read? Everyone always says Lock and Key.
Well, it's Joe Hill, and that is Stephen King's
son.
And basically, it's about these doors that lead to some fucking crazy shit.
Illustrated by Gabriel Rodriguez. This show has been trying to get made since like 2010. Oh, right. Shit. It's been in development hell. This one is developed by Carlton Cuse, who is buddies with Damon Lindelof. They're the guys who brought us Lost. So where Lindelof does his thing about setting up questions and not answering them, Cuse doesn't really do that. And he's really good with character and storytelling. I binged the whole thing like the first weekend it came out. It's fun. It's a little bit like Sandman, a little bit like Chronicles of Narnia. The keys are really fun. The different keys, what they do, the design of the keys. And it's basically about this Locke family that inherits this house that has these fucking magical keys. And of course, other people want the keys.
Doors.
There's doors. There's a history with the dad who's died that they discover, and they set it up perfectly for a second season. Good show. I would recommend it. It's reminded me a little bit of like Stranger Things, a little bit of Umbrella Academy, a little bit of Sandman-y kind of fantasy magical stuff. I think they toned down a lot of the crazy shit from the book is what I'm reading.
Yeah. Book's kind of crazy.
I'll say that Narcos Mexico season 2 comes out.
Yes.
It'll have already been out, so that's probably what I'll be watching. I was trying to I'm going to watch some of these Oscar films, maybe.
Yeah.
But I was trying to get into the Netflix documentary on Ted Bundy, The Lost Tapes.
Oh,
and about halfway through, I just couldn't watch it anymore.
Good. There's also a new Netflix series.
I didn't feel like it was any good.
That caught my eye called "Who Killed Malcolm X," and it's like the
I saw
investigation.
That scrolling through.
Definitely going to check that out. I love Malcolm X. I read his book. I was in high school. I would wear like an X hat. I was all militant.
So
it was hilarious.
For what it's worth, when in grade school, probably like I was maybe in 5th or 6th grade, maybe even 4th grade.
Yeah,
we all had to write a paper about some sort of historical figure, like a 3-page paper. I wrote mine about Malcolm X.
Holy shit! You picked Malcolm X.
I picked Malcolm X.
That's right.
My teacher was like very impressed.
Yeah,
like what? You picked Malcolm X? Don't forget, I was going to a Catholic school.
Yeah, like
That's
what?
Right.
What made you pick him?
I was just like, everyone thinks about Martin Luther King. What about Malcolm X?
We need Magneto. We're talking about
Magneto.
Professor X. We got to talk about Magneto. Listen, whatever you think about his politics, this man's fucking story is so fascinating. I've always been fascinated with Malcolm X.
Denzel Washington
should have won the fucking Oscar for playing Malcolm, and they snubbed him, and they gave it to him later. But
I know
he was amazing. He channeled fucking Malcolm X in that movie. He was so fucking good. That's like one of my favorite Spike Lee movies. I want to see
that again.
One of my favorite Spike Lee movies. Also 3 hours, like The Irishman. Nobody had a problem.
Long. I saw that in the theater. I sat through that
I saw it in the theater, and then I remember I bought the VHS tape, and it came on 2 tapes. Remember that? Remember when it would come on 2 tapes?
Yeah.
You're like, shit, I got to pop the next one out. I got to rewind these before I return it. Don't forget to... Remember you had to rewind shit? Kids don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Why would you have to rewind it? It was a tape. Also, there's an amazing documentary started on HBO. It's called McMillions. 2 episodes are out, produced by Mark Wahlberg. Did you guys know that between 1990 and 2001, the McDonald's Monopoly game, remember that game?
Yeah.
Nobody won any of the high-level prizes.
Oh, shit.
Because there was shenanigans. And the mob may have been involved.
I believe it.
It's fucking, what a crazy story. The FBI gets this case, and it's all about how they figured out who was gaming the fucking Monopoly game. Because you could never get Boardwalk or Park Place. It was never around. They fucking stole it before
it belongs to the mob.
They stole it before it got out. It is a crazy story. I'm enjoying that. So check that out. HBO. Yeah.
I got nothing to recommend, really.
Nothing?
No.
Been watching anything? Nothing?
I mean, I watch a lot of things, but nothing that I can... I mean, I've talked about everything I watched.
Yeah. Everything Ruggs talks about, he's recommended.
Yeah.
It's Rug Boy approved.
Rug Boy approved.
Weep.
Like, the Dragon Prince, I talked about that.
Yep.
Talked about Ultraman on Netflix. So, I mean, I'm pretty much covered.
We're up to 112 Apple Podcast ratings, guys.
Oh, shit.
Listener, if you have an iOS device, and this is like your laptop, your iPad, your iPhone, whatever, and you're in the U.S., light it up. Go to Apple Podcasts. Give us a rating. We're trying to get to 200 so we can be official Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Post it on your Facebook
reviewers.
feed, on your Insta feed, on your Snapchats.
On your Tinders, your Grinders, your Bumbles.
Yeah, put it on Grindr.
Yeah, why not? We like everyone. And we will
I'll
be...
blow you if you give us a review on Apple Podcasts.
I'm like a candle. I go out if you blow me. I stole that from Eminem. Sorry.
That's what he says?
That's it. He says it on the new album. Check out the new Eminem album. It's fantastic. I'm still listening to it. He's fucking great.
I prefer Reese's Pieces.
Those are also good. It's the best Halloween candy. Anthony, what's your favorite candy? You're not a candy guy.
I would go Sweet Tarts.
Oh, that's kind of boring.
Whoa.
Is it?
Yeah.
What do you mean? How is it boring?
Sweet Tarts.
But
Do you even
Sour
know, do you
Patch
even know what it
Kids, no.
tastes like?
I know. They're sweet and they're tart.
No, they're not. They're more
They're like-
sour.
They're like Pez Sours. Oh, they're like sour. Okay.
Yeah.
As long as you didn't say fucking Three Musketeers, because that's
No.
bullshit candy.
Anthony doesn't like chocolate.
I don't like
I know,
chocolate.
I know that. I know.
That's like some mutant shit.
That's
I like
weird.
I like Sweet Tarts. I like whatchamacallit?
Twizzlers?
No, I don't like Twizzlers.
Swedish Fish?
No. What's the ones that come in the wrappers? There's little square ones.
Now
that
and laters.
No. The colored
Starburst?
Starburst. I like those.
Starburst.
Nerds.
Skittles?
Nerds.
Skittles.
Oh,
the
Skittles are
sour
great.
ropes.
He just like straight up sugar.
Yeah.
Gum tape? You ever buy
He's
the
like
tape?
The tape.
I want to
yeah.
have absolutely no nutritional value
No.
to what I'm putting in my
Absolutely
body.
not.
At least Snickers, you get some nuts.
And chocolate and if it's good chocolate, it can be good for you.
Anthony likes melted plastic covered in sugar. That's
Right.
all that is.
Absolutely.
That's all that is.
That's
All right.
how you're supposed to live.
Ruggs, where can the listener find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Really Rug Boy.
Follow him, people. Check out the show notes for this episode, jockandnerd.com/314 for all the stupid shit we talked about, how to get in touch, how to support the show, how to subscribe, and tell a friend, spread the show, spread the geekery. We would appreciate it. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
We'll catch you next time.
La la la.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
Let me tell you about Tony, all right? Tony ruins lives.
Here comes the Harley Quinn. I love this movie. Harley Quinn does whatever a Harley Quinn